and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheen Aljamain. There we go. Want to make sure everything was working properly. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheen Aljamain. And I want to let you know that we're here today. The phone lines are open 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to hear from you. I'm going to start off this morning with the question. Well, before I even do that, how was your weekend, man? I hope you had a great weekend. I hope everything went according to plan, how you wanted to go over the weekend. I hope you got everything that you wanted to get accomplished this weekend, and I hope everything that you wanted to do with your family, friends, and surroundings. I hope you accomplished all of those things. Weekends are great times. Sometimes we use for rest, relaxation. Sometimes we use them just to finish up on certain things. And so anything that you wanted to have happen this weekend, I hope that you accomplished it. And if you did anything to anybody that that you don't feel too happy or too pleased about it, please. Today is a brand new day. Don't let this day go by. Don't let this day go by without you go. Even if something happened this weekend and you were not at fault, even if you were not at fault, something happened this weekend and you were not at fault. And I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to somebody right now. Even if you were not at fault, go back and apologize. Even if you were not at fault, even if it was not your fault. And I know sometimes things happen, and you say, "Well, it wasn't me. I didn't do it." It doesn't matter. We got to understand how precious time is and how precious each other should be to us. And sometimes we have to bite the bullet, even if it's not your fault, even if you was not the cause of it, even if you look at it, you say this person was totally wrong, be it family friend or family member, friend, or whoever it is, co-worker, whoever it is. Don't let that grow. Don't let that fester in there. Do not give the devil a workshop, the enemy a workshop in your life. Go back and apologize. Hey, Skylar, how you doing this morning? Good to have you. Go back and like I said, I'm talking to somebody. Don't know who I'm talking to, but something happened this weekend, and you are angry. Somebody is angry at you or whatever, and it could very well not even be your fault at all. And you know you're not in the wrong. You could absolutely know that you're not in the wrong, but still, go back and apologize. Go back and apologize. Say, I'm sorry. What happened this weekend? I want to apologize to you. It went away that neither one of us wanted to go. Things happen that neither one of us want to happen. So I want to take this opportunity right now, and I want to apologize to you, my friend, my brother, my sister, my cousin, whoever it is, my coworker. Want to make sure that I apologize to you and let you know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now, how big of a person does it take to do something like that? Even if you know that you're not wrong, how big of a person does it take to go in and apologize, even though you know that you're not wrong? It wasn't your fault. You had nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, you look at this joker like they done lost their everlasting mind. Good morning, Danny. Good morning. Let me get the right. Is it Yasim? I think it's Yasim. Yasim. I hope I did not butcher your name. It was not intentional. But good morning to you. Good morning to each and every one of you. And the phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Please give us a call. And if you've ever been in a situation where you had to apologize, even though you were not wrong, you know you were not wrong. You look at the situation and people come up to you and say, I don't know why they acting like that or whatever it is. And you go back and you be that bigger person and you apologize. Does that hurt you? Did that hurt you? How did that cause you any hurt, harm, or shame? How did it? Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm getting a late start with getting it in.
Now, where you at right now? You back home?
Yeah, man, I got back Saturday morning, man.
Oh, okay, good deal. Now let me ask you this question: being down there in Duval, man, and coming back, do you miss Duval at all, brother?
Man, my son down there, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I was dreading leaving, man. I was trying to stop.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I waited around Well, I finally, got that on out the way Friday,
Okay.
and I still want to stall till today, man. I want to hang around and see if I can catch up with them Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I'm already missing it, man, but I'm rejuvenated and motivated
There you go. That's
to
good.
get back down there.
There you go. There you go. And see, you said some of one of your videos, and I was checking your videos out. I think I made a comment on a few of them, man. I hope I did, or liked them, or I hope I did, because I was definitely watching them. But you said one about you was talking about how the first time you was there that you didn't give it the proper chance that it needed, and you found yourself venturing off. And you said how much you appreciate it, being there now, how much you appreciate it, and how the first time wasn't the best time, and it wasn't because of the place, but it was because of the decisions that you made. Rico, that was powerful, man.
Right.
You were speaking to somebody when you said that, man, because a lot of people get into that situation, whereas they go somewhere or they're around different people or whatever the case, and it's not the environment. Sometimes it's how we cope and deal with the environment that make it good, bad, or indifferent. What do you say to that, Rico?
That's true. Really and truly, most of the things that happen is because of our choices.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. We are all responsible for our choices, and we have to deal with the consequences behind it. But sometimes you have to sit down and think to yourself, what made me make those decisions?
Yeah.
And that's when you really start coming to the realization of the change that you can make. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are instances where people create conditions that you have no choice in. Think about just the black condition in itself. We didn't have a choice to be born to or become descendants of slaves. That was a natural order that we became descendants of slaves, and we know the whole environment, the whole existence, what went on with that. What made that happen? The evil that made that possible.
Yeah,
that we didn't have a choice in that. So those conditions, automatically put us behind the ball or held us down at the starting line. They fired off the starting gun, but they handcuffed us and told us you can't run for about another 100 years, then you can start running.
Exactly.
If not more. So we do have to, understand that sometimes we are born into conditions. We don't choose the parents we're born into. Crack babies didn't choose their mothers.
Yeah.
Most babies don't choose them. I ain't gonna say no babies choose their fathers.
Exactly.
They just victims of circumstance, if you want to call it that. But when you still have an opportunity, once you realize that you have hope, or just a positive thought process, that you can make the best decisions for you in that situation.
Absolutely.
Or maybe you can go in that direction and see, in the direction of things that you feel like may be out of your reach. At least make an attempt to see if you can get there. But yeah, that's what happened with me. I saw all of that when I first got there, but I was a little impatient. And I started thinking with the second head.
Yeah. And boy, that'll happen a whole lot of times if we're not careful, man. And we have to be in control. Oh man, Rico, you just took a turn over there, brother. No, and the reason why we have to always be in control and mindful of some of the and I have to say that. And good morning, Tara. Good to have you this morning. And mindful of the decisions that we make. We have to be very mindful, because if we don't, man, we'll make a bad decision and we'll ride on that thing, man, like we on a Rolls Royce or something, man. We'll ride on that decision.
And the trickle effect.
Yeah, exactly.
The trickle effect from it could be so damaging. I mean, it took me a while to realize that most of my situations in the past, especially that one in Florida, came down from me being impatient and wanting some sex.
Wow.
And getting that sex put me in a situation of dealing with people that really and truly I should have never lowered my standards and been around. But they was a little easier. So, I mean, like I said, when you start making those decisions, it's one thing to hold yourself accountable when you make the decisions and the choices that you make to go in different directions that you do. But you have to find out what was that motivating factor. What was that influence that made me make the wrong decision? And most of the times it's some type of desire that you have. Most of mine has been sex. Some people's are money. You know, that's what'll make them make the wrong decisions, wrong choices. The money or the benefit from it. But me, the benefit was more about sexual conquest and gratification, pleasure. And so,
Wow.
man, you have to deal with those consequences, man.
They coming back. They coming in some kind of way. They coming back, brother. In some kind of way. I believe me want to tell you they are coming back, and they will bite you. They will bite you. Rico, I was asking a question this morning about well, not necessarily a question, but I was talking about apologizing. Um, sometimes, even if we're not wrong, sometimes even if we know that we're right and our stance was the right stance to take, it's important sometimes, I think, and you tell me what you feel about this. Sometimes it's important to go back to that person, be it a family member, friend, coworker, or whoever it is, and say, you know what, that situation happened a few days ago, man, young lady, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It went away that you ain't necessarily gotta say I was wrong, but you say it went in a direction that it should not have gone in, and we got ourselves in a situation where we was at odds with each other. So I want to apologize to you. I apologize. Rico, how powerful is that, and how much does that release you from whatever it is? Because if you're not careful, some could hold on to you for a long time, man. And that situation, every time you see that person, you'll get some kind of ill feeling in your heart, and you'll feel some kind of way about that person if you let it continue. So how important is it sometimes to be the bigger person and just say, even if you're not wrong, you're not wrong. You know you're not wrong. In your heart of hearts, you know you're not. But you still say, I apologize. How important is that, Rico?
It's very important. That's part of keeping the peace. Like you said, that the part about your heart. You know what I'm saying? When you got that ill feeling, that the ill intent in your heart, that ain't no peace. Sometimes depending on who the person is, or just what the situation was, you might not even be able to get into sleep at night.
Yes, sir.
Because of this disagreement. Maybe you didn't have any ill intent, but you rubbed that person wrong because you hit a soft spot with them.
Yep.
The thing is, we never know what the other side, how they took the thing that you did, or what type of situation they've been in that made them feel a certain way about it. So, if you can understand that, okay, maybe they did come off a little aggressive, or maybe they did come off wrong, you can apologize because people perceive things a certain way. I had somebody tell me this past Friday that they knew I didn't like them.
Wow.
I said, well, wait a minute. I speak to you all the time. She said, yeah, everybody speaks. I said, no, everybody don't speak. I said, if I don't like you, I don't speak to you. I said, because I ain't fake. I said, but, I speak to you. I said, but, I have been told before that I intimidate people by the way that I speak because I don't smile and I'm straightforward. Oh, you don't intimidate. You don't intimidate me. I said, well, I mean, not just you personally. I mean, other people have said, said that I've rubbed them the wrong way, and I said they always misperceive me. I said, but I'm a straightforward person. I said, I don't really, know a middle ground. I said, so if I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve. I said, but if I didn't like you, I wouldn't speak to you.
Exactly.
But I had to apologize because she assumed that I didn't like her because of how straightforward I am. So sometimes you have to be the bigger person and see then, okay, I'm dealing with a sensitive person. I'm dealing with a person that hasn't met a man like me that doesn't know how to speak, that speaks firmly or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Especially being a black man, oh man.
Yeah.
Black men with a deep voice.
Yeah, exactly.
We definitely rub people the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to, understand the other side of the picture. You have to look at things through other people's eyes sometimes and say, well, you know what, even though I didn't mean anything by it, and you can tell them the same way. Even though I didn't mean anything by it, I understand how that comes off, and I apologize because that was not my intent.
Exactly. And see, and a lot of times, if you're dealing with another good person, they would accept your apology, and y'all will be able to move forward from that. But if you're dealing with an old negative, old nasty person, it don't matter what you say. Truth of the matter, I deal with both sides of the coin. And if you're dealing with an old nasty person, you go to them and say, I apologize. I apologize for what I did or what I did not do or whatever the case. And if they're a nasty person, man, a nasty person, we're gonna be nasty. And so that way, if you go to them right there with a good, clean heart, and they turn you away for whatever reason, just walk away from that person. That person don't deserve a place in your life, because regardless of what you do, how you do it, or how sincere you are in your delivery, they're gonna find something wrong with it, Rico.
You're right. You're right. But you know what the funny thing about it is? That's what me and you differ at.
Mm-hmm.
When I see that they're like that, I go ahead and cut their head off and then burn the bridge.
Wow.
I go ahead, but I make sure that they don't come back around me no more. I ain't just gonna walk off. I'm gonna make sure they don't even follow me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me cut your whole head off and tell you this truth. You the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you the issue. I had to get somebody like that a couple of weeks ago. I think I told you about it.
Yeah,
I
you
finally
did.
had to break this woman down
You told me.
and let her know what I felt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I had read between the lines on everything, and I was trying to be the bigger person.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to see the positive in it, but really and truly, you just kept showing me that you make people expendable and you don't care about nobody but you.
Mm-hmm.
And you just try to tell me I'm the problem. Now let me cut your head off.
Mm-hmm.
You fell out with this person, you fell out with that person, you fell out with this person, you fell out with that person, and everybody seemed to be the problem but you the common factor.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that was the first time I got a sincere response from that person.
Wow.
Is when they wanted to call me back and tell me the situation and how they wasn't the fault.
Mm-hmm.
Struck a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you was the fault, but I just cut your head off and burnt that bridge. Ain't no need of you calling me, telling me this no more.
Mm-hmm. So ain't no coming back. Mm-hmm. But see, and that's the whole thing right there, man. Like I said, once and you're right, we deal with it a little differently in regards to that, man. Because I just walk away from that person, and I'm not dealing with you. I'm done. I'm done. And see, the thing about it, man, people in my past, some of the people that I pretty much cut off, and I don't cut a lot of people off, Rico. I pretty much get along pretty much with everybody. But some people are just nasty. But when I cut them off, man. It's just it. They don't need you. You ain't come to this. We ain't going together. No, none of that. None of that. When I'm done with you, I'm done. But I'm not to the point where I'm gonna cut the head off and burn the bridge, Rico. I ain't own if I'm gonna do it like that, though, brother.
I have to let them know what the problem was, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I'm the type of person too. I'll bend.
Yeah.
I will bend. I go beyond bending to try to make things work. You know what I'm saying? Or be courteous or respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Or to even give people the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see them, or I find out who they are, and they refuse to accept that, I mean, you can hear somebody toot their own horn and point the finger at everybody. Everybody do me wrong. Everybody do me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said that if it weren't for me, they wouldn't have this or they wouldn't have that. I'm just super. I'm perfect.
Mm-hmm.
No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Now, I've been listening to you. Let me go ahead and tell you what this problem is before we finish this off. So if you come back this way, you coming back apologizing and let me know that person don't exist no more because you get it.
Mm-hmm.
You were the common factor.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't supposed to keep pointing the finger at everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
See, because some people will try to come back.
Oh yeah.
Some people will try to come back. So when they try to come back, I need to let them know that when they come back, they need to come back knowing that they got some things that they had to straighten out. Come back knowing that they had to accept some responsibility for some things because it wasn't me. And one thing you ain't fixing to do is tell or misrepresent me and what my intention was. No, you're not fixing to do that.
Exactly. Good morning, Elwood. Good morning, Renee. Good morning to you as well. Good to have both of you with us, man. We got quite a few people that's coming in. I do apologize. I'm not able to acknowledge everybody. Let me go back. Calvin, Andrew, Alex. I'm not able to. The screen moves kind of fast, so a lot of people are coming in, so I'm not able to get to each and every one of you, but I definitely appreciate each and every one of you being here. Definitely appreciate you. And the phone lines are open. All you have to do is give us a call. We'd love to have your input. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Ask the question right now. How important is it important for you to apologize to someone even though you know you're not wrong? Is it okay? Is it okay to do that? Is that, Rico, can some people take that as showing a sign of weakness if you go to that person and apologize, or what other people look at as being, okay, you're strong enough to go to that person and apologize even though you know you're not wrong? How do you think that thing is read?
Well, once again, it depends on the person and the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are wrong all the time, but never accept accountability and then want people to bow down to them. And most of the time, it's just because they're in position where people need them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm not fixing to apologize to you. No. Somebody needs to tell you the truth. You need to hear it. You don't want me around you, fire me. Do whatever it is you want to do. But I'm going to tell you the truth. So sometimes, you know, there is a time and a place for everything, but everybody doesn't deserve the same opportunity, because we do live in a dog-eat-dog world where people are self-indulging.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, they only think about themselves. And once again, like I said, they never hold themselves accountable. Is what it's only about the good that they did, and then the bad that people did to them. They ain't never did nobody wrong. And you can listen to them talk and hear all the stories they tell you where they did some things that you would never do, and they try to find a way to justify it, to make it okay. So I mean, you know, these people, sometimes you can't apologize to them.
Yeah.
Not when they find a way to excuse. I mean, man, I ain't gonna get into detail, but sometimes, like I said, some people do some things sometimes that they find a way to cope and justify that. You know, it's heartless, if you ask me. But when you find those that will make an excuse to justify it just behind the fact that this ain't what they wanted to do, or this ain't what they wanted at that point in time, so they made this expendable or that person expendable. No, I mean, I'm not going to apologize to you, because what'll happen is you start feeling entitled.
Yep.
You start feeling privileged. So you got to pick and choose. It really depends on the mindset and attitude of that person.
And that's the whole thing right there, man. Based on the mindset and knowing who you're dealing with. Mr. Hicks, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, family.
Mr. Hicks, I'm
everybody's doing well.
Yes, sir. Good to have you this morning, sir. Asking a question, Mr. Hicks, and I want to hear your heart on this right here, because you look here. I'm gonna say, I hope you don't mind me saying it this way, but you're a seasoned gentleman. Is that good, man? You a seasoned gentleman?
Oh man, it makes me feel good this morning. I like to think so.
Yes, sir. See, me and Rico and I better say it like that, because my wife educated. If I say it like that, she gonna, listen. You don't say no me. It's Rico and I. Okay, baby. I'm gonna say it the way I'm supposed to say it. But Rico and I, we haven't got to the point where we getting there. Now we got a little seed, we got a little salt or something like that, a little salt, maybe a little pepper on us, but we're not seasoned yet. You know, we got a little salt and pepper on us, but we're not seasoned. See, you seasoned, and so there's a difference. So I want to ask you this question, Rico. Would you agree with that? We got a little salt and pepper on us, but we ain't seasoned yet.
You know, we might have a little Lowry, a little bit of Lowry.
That's that seasoning salt, exactly. But Mr. Hicks, how important is it that if you and somebody have an issue, and you know that you're not wrong, you know, as a matter of fact, you're right. How important is it that you be the bigger person and go back and say, look here, that situation, you don't have to say you was wrong, but you say that situation that happened over the weekend or whenever it was, I want to come to you and I want to apologize how that situation went. Now, you're not saying that you're wrong, but you're taking a larger stance and you're apologizing for that situation or for that instance that happened. Is that important that you do that? And how big of a person would you have to be to do something like that?
Oh, wow, brother.
I
remember reading some time ago about this little, I don't know if it's a story, but it's about a man that was carrying a bag of with grains in it, and he's taking it from he's carrying it on his travels, but there's a hole in the bottom of the bag, and as he walks, he's losing some of the grains. So when he gets to a point to reach down his bag, he finds that he don't have as much grain left in there as he had. I see that as oftentimes when we deal with people in life, we sometimes put our truth in a hole, which is leaking out the bag, and it takes something away from the self. I think that I think that when you apologize, it should be from a heart of sincerity, not tactic. If I don't feel that you deserve an apology, I'm not giving it to you. I apologize for my actions, my words, what I do, but I'm still point to whatever's on your part that you need to apologize. I don't know. In my travels, I find a lot of times when you don't put children,
Yes.
I was right there.
What happened when you don't put them in check.
Mm-hmm.
When you really don't put them in check, and you leave it sort of vague. They don't see the need for change on their part.
Mm-hmm.
They're still focusing on that what you said was wrong, Dad. You did this here, and I heard and all that. And saying, no, son, we're coming right back to this. Come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's flexible, but I never apologize unless I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
I never. If I don't mean it, I'm not saying it.
Okay.
I just grew up that way.
Okay.
I took a whipping for it. I just get whippings from my parents because I just was not. I didn't see where I was wrong, and I'm not bound to it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's a personal defect. I don't know.
What? No. Sometimes you gotta respect what a person where a person stand and what they stand on, and it sounds as though you stood on the fact that you're not gonna apologize, even though if you know you're not wrong, you're not gonna apologize. I mean, you can't say that that's a defect. But let me ask you this question: Is it a strength in you that you will not do that, or is that something that you think you need to work on?
I think I need to work on it simply because you can't have a rule that applies to all situations.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be like Bruce Lee said. You got to be flexible like water.
Yes, sir.
You got to be able to adapt to win the conflict. If the conflict is to bring about a change in you or someone else, you got to be flexible with the personality you're dealing in front of you. What you sense their needs is.
Mm-hmm.
They might need a pat on the back.
Mm-hmm.
They might need you to acquiesce. And I call it a defect, a personal defect in me because it's across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not apologizing. I'm not backing out what I said or what I mean, and bring it on.
Okay. I asked Rico a second ago, and I'm gonna go back to Rico as well. But I asked Rico, if you did go to someone and you apologize to that person, even though you know you're not wrong, just to keep the peace, if you will, can that be looked upon as a form of strength or a form of weakness?
I guess like everything, it depends. But sometimes you can have peace until it really is peace. Peace is not the absence of war or the absence of conflict. Peace is understanding and a growth. So sometimes you need the conflict. There's no avoiding conflict. You've got to handle it.
So basically, what I'm hearing you say, sometimes you got to split a wig.
Say it again, bro.
But what I'm hearing you say is sometimes you have to split a wig.
Well, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. There's a lot of forms of combat where you're skilled enough and trained enough that you can just grab a person and hold them. Just put them in a hole lock. They can't move out of it. And you can talk in their ear while you got to let them know that I got the grips on you. Well, that could be in psychologically or emotionally. Okay. But don't split the head. Let's say trying to split your head.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I want to be clear what I was hearing. That's all. I want to be clear what I'm hearing. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sometimes you just split their head by hitting them with facts, holding them accountable about their actions. Yeah, this is what you did. Look at what you did. Look at what you did. You don't want to talk about that. You just gonna gloss over that. So I mean, sometimes it's called putting people in their place.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the way you're doing it. Like I said, sometimes people need to hear the truth. And for some reason, some people feel shielded. Some people are shielded from hearing the truth. I mean, you have yes men. Like Donald Trump and presidents have yes men. How many people you think really told Bush and tell Biden and Trump, when they look foolish? They got a lot of yes men around them. As you listen to this investigation that's going on, you start hearing all the loyal yes men that Trump wanted around here. Giuliani, oh man, he was a yes man. So he was one of them that he ain't gonna apologize, but he probably would apologize to Trump.
Exactly.
But he wouldn't apologize to the country for what he did. But I'm like his man. If I don't find it, if I'm not in the wrong, I'm not gonna apologize. But now if I see if there's any type of way that what I said could have been misconstrued or taken a certain way because of the way that I talk, because I know how human emotions are. And some people can receive what I say for what it is, and then some they just look at the most simple, basic form of it and get their feelings hurt. And most of the time, it might be because that's what they're doing. I could be talking in general about something and offending people. about my opinions about certain things, and they have animosity against me from then on. What am I going to do? Apologize because you that demon, you that Jezebel, you that Jezebel that I'm talking about?
Wow.
So, I mean, you know, I can't apologize for the truth. So it's almost like, man, when you were in court for a crime you didn't commit, man, ain't nothing worse than pleading guilty to something that you didn't do.
Exactly.
It's almost the same thing, apologizing when you know you didn't do something wrong. It's hard. It's hard. I'm like, Hicks, man, I might take the consequences. Y'all rather fight.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. I want to put this on the record. I'm gonna put this on the record right now. I want whoever taking notes, I want y'all to take notes of this particular day. It was about 9:43. I'm talking about 9:43. 7:43. It was about 7:43 on a Monday morning. Rico was the first one to bring up Donald Trump. It wasn't me. It was Rico. He was the first one to bring up. See, he celebrated about 2 weeks ago. And last week I played a joke on myself. Look here, I'm going to say it was a Friday. I said I'm going to say Donald Trump before the week get out, so Rico can't get me. But my thing is right here. He brought up Donald Trump today, y'all. He said he celebrated 1 week, 2 weeks ago. He said, Raheem, I want to celebrate right now because it's been a whole week and you ain't said nothing about Donald Trump. He clapped his hands and everything.
Well, now listen, that's two different things. I referred to Donald Trump. You was talking about Trump. You were opening up the morning. Y'all, guess what? We got somebody to do with talking about Trump. We got Trump. Get what Trump did yesterday, y'all. I just referenced him for a second. Now, you know, you see how I hesitated. I stuttered a little bit.
Yeah, he hit that. He was going to hit. He wasn't about to hit that. He was about to hit that pause button. Am I going to say this dude's name on here? Am I going to even bring his name up? Mr. Hicks, did you see that? You saw that, didn't you?
I saw it. I saw it.
I'm gonna change up
but
this.
It's all good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna change up the topic for a second, and this is actually our topic for the day. We're gonna step on it. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna go to something else. We're gonna come back when more people come on. But Mr. Hicks, let me ask you this question. Looking back over this thing called life, and whatever the situation, regardless of the situation that is, Mr. Hicks, do we waste a lot of time doing unnecessary things? Do we waste a lot of our time?
I waste a lot of my time. I know I do. I look back and I even on a daily check. You know, it's we're in a world full of distractions. Not just television and media, just the energy flowing through the atmosphere, all the thoughts of the people around us, what they call the universal subconscious mind or whatever. I find myself procrastinating, and I've always had that. And I looked at it sometimes and say it worked out good because my procrastination was a guidance. Because had I made that decision immediately, I wouldn't have had this additional information I've gotten. But,
Ms. Hicks, do we sometimes use even that right there, saying it's good that I procrastinated because do we sometimes use that as an excuse for not doing what we're supposed to do?
Oh, sure, that's a waste of time. You know, that's a waste of time. You look back and you say, like, wow, if I'd have jumped on this here from the beginning, right when I had the first indication, I wouldn't be facing what I'm facing now. I should have handled it. So it's my fault. I should have handled this here. I can't blame anyone. But oftentimes, when the Spirit, what we call the Holy Spirit, guides you, it guides you against the conventional kind of ways of solving things. It puts you in a place where most times in my life, when I throw my hands up, when I did all of my thinking about a thing and worried about a thing, and I can't solve, I throw my hands up, I say, I can't do this, Lord, it's yours. It's a sense of relief that comes when you do that, because it takes being at a point of faith to even think that way. Because most times I feel like I can solve this problem. It's on me. I created the consequences of it. It's like if they were talking the other day about, I forgot that said I want to speak on. It's just fleeing my mind right there. But I think in my life, I tried to do it so much. All my life, I tried to do it on my own. I tried to use my intelligence and my charisma or whatever it is, my quick wit to get past things, and I always end up in a box. I think
Wow.
and that's being seasoned, is getting old enough to recognize there's some things you just don't have the power. How's that? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, the wisdom to know the difference. That
Yeah.
last part,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
the wisdom to know the difference. What things can I take, and what things do I have to just let go? Uh,
That's
it's
good.
not that easy.
Yeah.
But as the seasoned part of me is recognizing when I hit a wall, I can't do it. That's where I think what they say, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. A very difficult thing to do, to believe like that.
Yeah.
But over practice and doing it over and over, you find out, hey, I can trust this universe. I can trust this source. I can trust God.
Wow. Wow. Rico, do we in life, look back over this thing called life, Rico, do we waste a lot of time?
Plenty, man, plenty. You know, I've caught myself, man. I don't watch TV anymore. If I do watch TV, I'm watching real life shows like First 48 documentaries or something like that. But like shows like the Cosby Show and Martin and Family Ties, you know, man, I went decades not even knowing what shows were on TV, and I still don't know. I don't know what sitcoms on TV. I don't watch any fictional shows. I watched a lot of fictional shows and game shows when I was younger, and then I started noticing how easily people could become couch potatoes and become obese. That was one of the things I noticed. You know what I'm saying? How distracted. You know, I told you, I think it was last week, I said, man, they found out how to use that television the same way that you use the watch to hypnotize people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. So if you ain't careful, you'll get hypnotized and distracted. And so many more important things will be bypassing you, things that you could be accomplishing and experiencing in life that, you know, you're missing out on watching other people act, watching other people pretend. You getting entertained by, see, we very much distracted by entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Man, entertainment got us by the balls, man. I mean, you know, people, man, I mean, you got people that they'll rather just lay down and listen to music when they can actually listen to music and do something else at the same time. But they just want to focus on what they love doing. So you have the fact that we have these distractions, and then we have this natural thing in us to want to have desires and cravings as human beings. And now these man-made things that distract us have turned us into behavioral addicts. So we get addicted to gambling, or we get addicted to watching TV. We get addicted to just doing things that makes us feel good, doing what we want to do and not what we need to do. So then we find situations that they sneak up on us, important things. Attention that family members should have got.
Yeah.
It bites us in our butt because we didn't give them that quality time. Instead, we pushed them to the side so we could go do what we wanted to do instead of doing what we needed to do to actually support our children or our loved ones. Now we ask the question, what's going on? Like right now in society, people wonder, what's going on with these kids? What's going on with these kids? Well, they didn't get enough quality time. They didn't get enough quality time. And we may feel like we did give them enough quality time, but when you look at all the distractions that we had compared to the people in the past that had children, they didn't have as many distractions. They didn't have as many outlets to distract them from everyday reality.
Exactly.
But now you can lift off in the TV land. Matter of fact, they even got a TV station named TV Land. And you can lift off into that land and watch all kind of nostalgic shows from the past all day long on a 24-hour cycle. While the rest of the world is moving and accomplishing and producing, you just consuming and watching it go by.
Exactly.
Yeah, we get caught up in that procrastination and the heartbeat, man. And then, like I said, the people that suffer from it, you know, they might have something against it because they realize, oh, while they were sitting up there watching TV, they could have had me signed up for cheerleading. They could have had me signed up for T-ball. They never put time into me. But I can remember sitting up watching if we don't have our priorities straight, we will procrastinate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have situations where children, they need to get exposed to positive things on how to behave, you know, how to cooperate in a group. So they have extracurricular activities that, you know, they don't even have to be sports.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a church choir, school choir. There's certain activities that you have to get children involved in, but a lot of these children, they miss out on that because the parents are out doing what they want to do instead of doing what they need to do.
Exactly.
And then they'll procrastinate watching TV all day. They have the children sitting there like this, eating and watching TV. And, you know, before you know it, they created these couch potatoes. They created people that are unhealthy. The ones that they say that can't run a mile. You know, somewhere now the priorities got mixed up and people got caught up in the entertainment. You know, I was saying earlier that we have been distracted by entertainment so much to the point to where we are addicts. And if we don't understand that we're addicts, we are refusing and denying that we're behavioral addicts. But that addiction is causing us to procrastinate because we spend more time doing the things we want to do and doing the things we want to do instead of the things we need to do.
That's good.
And I'm speaking in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got a big echo, a bad echo.
It is a big echo. Let me see. See, can I fix that real quickly? Let me see here. Go here. Let me know when it goes away. Curtis.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Y'all let me know when the echo go away. I'm working on something on the side here. But Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning.
Curtis, I'm asking a real simple but complicated question. In this thing called life, man, individually and collectively, do we waste a lot of time?
Yeah. Still echoing.
It's still echoing? Okay.
Yeah, it's echoing bad.
Okay, let me see here. Let me shut this down and bring it back up. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna shut this down and shut the phone line down and bring it back up. It may have something to do with the phone line. So let me do this real quickly, and then we'll go ahead on.
Goodbye.
All right, we're gonna take care of this real quick. Y'all bear with me for a second. We have some issues with our phone line. They're saying there's a real bad echo, and so I want to make sure that we fix that situation so we don't have the echo and you all can hear the best of quality. But I want to hear from each and every one of you that's on this broadcast as well, and I want to know. Let me see. Did I hold on for a second? Let me see something here. Let me do this before I do that, because we're gonna have a serious mess if I don't. Okay, do this. Boom. Do we waste a lot of time? Do you waste a lot of time? Do you find yourself in situations where you wasting a whole lot of time with unnecessary things?
Okay. There is one other participant in the conference.
Okay, everybody gonna have to actually call back in because it disconnected them. So hopefully. Okay, now what is going
Please
on?
announce yourself.
Got it. Okay, good deal. We should be back now. Everybody there? No, everybody got to call back in. But listen, they're going to call back in 1 second. But my thing is this right here. Do you find it in a situation, and thank y'all for working with me through that situation. The phone lines was acting up, so we had to make sure that we got that back up and running in the way that it needs to, so we can put the best quality for you out there. So if you're listening to us on whatever platform you're listening to us on, want to make sure that you can hear it clearly and you can hear everybody that's talking clearly. But do you waste a lot of time? Do you find yourself in situations where you're wasting so much time? You know you should be doing this. You know you should be doing that. But time just passed you by. And as that time is passing you by, you realize that I've wasted a whole lot of time. I wasted a whole lot of time doing nothing. I wasted a whole lot of time in front of this TV. I wasted a whole lot of time sleeping. I mean, you know, you go and before you know it, you're taking a nap. You ain't not necessarily that you're tired. I'm just gonna lay down for a little bit. And before you know it, you slept 4, 5, 6 hours, of which you could have been doing something totally different. What do you say to that? 508-924-3521. Spending time with the kids. Is it important sometimes to push yourself like they were saying earlier about the TV? Is it important sometimes to push yourself away from that television, push yourself from in front of that TV, and spend quality time with your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, or whoever it is? Is that important that you do that sometimes? Sometimes we have to just um I'm not even gonna say bite the bullet. Sometimes we just gotta make the time for the people that deserve to have our time. And there's a lot of people that deserve to have our time. Work. Do you work more hours than what you should? And how does that affect your household, your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews? You have to work, you have to go to, and I know people a lot of times people say, well, I gotta pay these bills. These bills gotta be paid. Gotta have a house, a roof over their head, food on the table, and clothes on their back, and all these different things that people say. And that's true. We're not gonna say that that's not true. Those are necessities. Those are things that are needed. But at the same time, do you overindulge? Do you find yourself at work longer than what you should? If there's a game, one of your children have a game, I can't go to the game, and I got to go to work. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make your game because I have to go to work. Is that good? Is that good? What effect are you having on that child? What effect are you having on that child when you do that? When you say, well, look here, I know you got a game this weekend. I know you got a game tomorrow, but something came up at work, and because something came up at work, I'm not gonna be able to make it to your game. Does work do we sacrifice? Do we make those sacrifices? Maybe sometime pull back on some of those hours at work, because your child, when your child have a game or something like that, man, they want to be able to look up in that stand. They want to be able to look up in the stand or on the field in the bleachers or wherever it is, and they want to see you there. They want to see you clapping for them, applauding them. They want to see you when they do something wrong. They want to look up at you in the stands and get some assurance from your face. Not something that you say, but from your face. They can look at your face sometime and you can smile at them a certain way and just mouth, it's all right. It's all right. And so that will make a world of difference. But if you're at work because something came up at work and you can't make it to the game, man, you could be stabbing that child in the heart without a knife being in your hand. Mr. Hicks, we're talking about right now. Does work take a lot of our time, more time than what we need to take away from the family, and the child is in sport, extracurricular activities, and just your presence could make a world of difference, and your absence could make a world of hurt. Mr. Hicks, what do you say to that?
Well, it's true. Most of my working years was always away from home.
Mm-hmm.
As over-road truck drivers, or I managed, especially the abatement contracts throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed a whole lot of those things, and I think but sometimes you're forced with those reality choices. During the 70s, 80s, and the oil crisis, and everything was tight. It was a more priority for the survival of the family to make the money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I my kids have come. I have my youngest son he had an aptitude for martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
He excelled so fast, and all the different forms of it. I financed it, but my wife supported him, and I wasn't there. I see the trophies. I only went to one of his meetings, his competitions. My oldest son was a star basketball player. He scored a record number of slam dunks for the little city we lived in. But matter of fact, for the area, I missed a whole lot of his. But I remember the times with his quality. Those times that I was able to show, I could see the expression in his face that he was glad I was there. But yeah, I think the system is hooked up in such a way where it takes two incomes to support a family. And being that I supported my family, my wife did work for all those years of kids growing up. But yeah, I wish I could have been there. I wish I could be there for all my grandkids now in the same kind of area.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same situation, time, distance. you just got to do the best you can. But when I talk to my kids now, they're all adults. When the conversation had come up growing up, I expressed to them and made them understand choices. And I think that once they understand that, get out of their feelings, they say, yeah. Especially when they become grown, they have their own families, then they see it. They call and say, I understand now. I understand what you were saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Curtis, back at you, brother. Good morning.
Good morning, man. What's going on?
Hey.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing? Hey, ladies.
Doing good, doing good. We're talking about wasting time, and do we waste some time? And now we're at a point where I'm asking about work. Do we spend too much time at work? Do we spend more time at work than we should? If one of our children have a game or something like that, do we sometimes, because of something happened at work, have to explain, I can't go to your game tomorrow. I can't go to your event tomorrow. I can't go to your piano recital tomorrow. I can't go to this or whatever it is because something came up at work and I have to go. I got to be able to keep a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food on the table. And this is the way that I do it. When you want those games and stuff like that, I got to go to work so I can be able to buy those games for you. Do we use those as excuses? Because a lot of times, if something goes wrong, see if it's a piano recital and they hit a bad note or something don't go right, they can look over there at you as a parent and you could give them the comfort that no, keep going. But your absence could say a very negative thing. So Curtis, what do you say to that?
Oh, no, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. And it really gets bad when you raise your kids not to understand what sacrifice is. It can get bad on both sides. Doing what I do for a living, it's funny that you mentioned that because, I sat back one day a couple weeks ago and really thought about what I do for a living. And I realized that I had given more time to the population of kids that I served than I had given to my own kids.
Wow.
And for anybody who knows me, everybody know, like, yo, there's nothing more important to that man than them two boys he got. I bend over backwards for my sons. You know what I mean? Like, I do what a father is supposed to do and do what a daddy wish he could do. So, you know what I mean? But still, I still ask myself on a daily basis, have I given too much to one group and not given enough to the most important group? Or am I wrong for saying that my kids are more important than these kids who don't have fathers, who don't have mothers, who the semblance of a mother and or father is a straight symbol of an abuser? Okay, so you know what I mean? Like, I find myself caught up in that all the time. But there's in the situation I'm in right now, I live in Maryland. My kids live in South Carolina. So I can't go to every game that my baby boy has. You know what I mean? And I hate that it eats at me. It eats at me from the inside,
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to get back down there now, because I know I have peaked his style of play when I'm at the game. He elevates to a whole nother level. If I'm at that game, he elevates to a whole nother level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because Dad is there. I got to show Dad what I could do. Dad, I learned this. This is something I could have watched this. And he's not really, a lot of times, truth of the matter, he's not playing to anybody else in that stadium except you. He want to show you what he could do. And so when you're there, man, it elevates him to that point. I got to show my dad what I could do. Y'all watch this. Dad, watch this, Dad. And so that's what's important. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, people have to understand, man, this construct of time is a human thing and we are mortal. That means time is very important. To me, that means that quality time is very important. The time is very, I mean, all time is quality time, if you ask me. But it depends on what you do with it. So it goes back, you know, sort of what I was saying earlier. We got too many distractions. We got so many distractions. And, you know, some things are necessity. You might be able to explain to your children, well, I have to work to be able to pay for these things because they're not free. This enrollment, this AAU, this traveling baseball, and then the 7-on-7 football, and then the AAU basketball. I got you involved in all three, but man, this is expensive. So, you know, some of the Saturdays that you're going to play in, I'm doing a little extra work to pay for these things. And the children, they may understand that. You got to spend enough quality time with them to get them to understand what it takes for them to be able to do what they do. Because the other children don't even have this opportunity. But now, think about the parents that have got the time. See, that's where the problem comes in. When you have children that know, not only did y'all have the money, you said you couldn't afford it, but then y'all buying everything else. But now you went ahead and got me enrolled in this stuff, or you got me involved, and you don't even show up. You do the bare minimum. And ain't nothing worse than looking out there in that audience, man, and knowing that you are probably the star, and your people ain't there. Everybody else got people there supporting and representing them. You ain't got nobody there. That's a terrible feeling. So, you know, you have to ask yourself, okay, if that man or that woman isn't working, why aren't they there? You know, when I was in high school, man, people used to always wonder, well, where's Rico's parents, man? He got all these saxophone solos and, you know, all this stuff that he's, you know, good at. And where's his parents? Where's his support system? I'm thinking to myself, man, y'all asking that question, think about me.
Yeah, exactly.
How y'all think I feel about it? You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, you know, I can speak from that point of view of a latchkey child. You know, a situation where the parents may have been working too much, or maybe they just didn't want to invest that much time into you. And you know they could have because they invested it into your brothers. They coached their baseball teams and made sure they played football every year, but then you had to get down on the floor and cry and kick and scream to see who was going to pay for you to play this time. And then when they paid for you to play, then they wouldn't get you to practice, and you better not be mad that you didn't get to practice. You know, I mean, but what were you doing? You was out seeing your girlfriend, your new love. So, I mean, you know, man, I mean, that quality time that you miss out on, man, I mean, it's more than just getting these children involved in it. You got to support them, man. When they say quality time, they mean quality. It don't mean just drop them off at practice and go on about your business or come to a game here and now. And then all of a sudden, when you see everybody giving them these accolades, you know, that was one of the worst feelings I had. My senior year, I used to hear more praise on my cousin from my own father than praise on me. Even with my mama, the same way. I could be playing baseball or football, I hear more praise about my teammates, but I was always the one making all. So I'm like, well, man, that's funny that they always give people more attention than me. But then I got the right support from others, from coaches. I got the right support from band directors and teachers that motivated me. And so I remember my senior year, we had a concert recital, and man, I think I had like 3 solos and standing ovations everywhere. People coming up to me, man. I mean, you had some people had tears in their eyes, man. One of the songs I played was sort of a slow song. Here Come My Daddy. He want to take pictures and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. This is the first time you ever heard me play saxophone. And then, you know, you have family members. They would always go, oh, man, my nephew Rico, he could play that saxophone. He could play that saxophone. But guess what they was going by? What somebody else told them.
Yeah.
You know what I did? I would call them out on it. Oh, you don't know. You ain't never heard me play.
Wow.
What was your support? Read between the lines. I mean, you know, other people told you I could play. You heard I was good. You heard I had a music scholarship. But now ask yourself why I didn't take that music scholarship. Because I didn't even understand or have the right support system behind me to sort of guide me down the right decision, to have to make the right decision. So I let things like that slip through my fingers. I didn't value it as much. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody else thought, man, this saxophone gonna take you through the roof. It's gonna make you successful. I didn't think it was important or that it was worth it because I didn't get the support that I needed. You get what I'm saying? So it was just fun to me. I was good. Everybody else praised me for it. But to me, it was just fun. I didn't realize, man, this is your ticket to college. This is gonna guide you to your future. I didn't know that that's how I could ride that wave. I just thought that it was fun for me.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, because Rico, I had to experience that myself, man, because I played all kinds of sports throughout, football, wrestling, and track when I ran track. But I used to be out there, man, and football. I used to, people used to come and see me hit, man, because I used to love to hit. And I used to try to bring fire from them. Every time I hit them, bow, I hit. And people would always talk about how, they come to the game just to see me hit and all that stuff, man. But you look up in the stands, and a lot of my family members was out there, man. And wrestling, and I wrestled all the way from middle school all the way up through high school. And was very successful at wrestling. I used to love wrestling. Very successful at it. Did very well. But it's amazing how everybody, it's almost like the applause that you get from everybody else would never be as loud as the applause you get from your own people, from your own family members. And
you can hear them. You can hear them in the stands screaming for you, man.
Exactly.
I stopped playing sports because of lack of support. But I can remember when I was younger and I was playing all-star baseball and stuff, man, I could hear certain people scream my name out, but I was looking for that. I was, I see them at the game, and so I knew they were gonna call out for me. But after a while, you stop hearing those cheers.
Yeah, exactly.
You hear them, but it ain't the same.
It ain't the same, bro. It is not the same at all. I remember a couple of games that my mom actually came to, a football game she came to, and I'm on the field, man, stadium full of people, man. We out there playing, this was high school. We playing, man. I'm hitting, bam, knocking them all over the place, man. And every time I do something, all these people, it's crazy. All these people in the stand, I could hear my mom. That's my baby. That's my baby. Get him, baby. Get him, baby. And how do I hear that in all these people? Because that's the voice that was important. That was the only voice that was important. Everything else was blocked out. I could hear her, and she was up in the stands. It's crazy, man. And so that's why I say a lot of times, man, we have to have that time and make that time. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, brother? Badger, coming to you in just a second.
Well, it's interesting. I wrestled in high school too.
I used to love it, man. I loved it.
I was about 6'3", and I had all the basketball coach really riding me to join a team. But he was a white coach, and I didn't like the way he talked to people. So I went. I wrestled. The only person that ever showed up for any of my matches was my sister. She was a year younger than me. But and I was good at it. I mean, I was slippery. I would get away. I could do the skates. I escaped anything they try to put on me, but I would always give out in the end because of strength, right? And I was head on points and I always get pinned. So I was sort of glad. I was glad to stand there and have a whole bunch of family around to witness here, but I didn't recognize that it was building character inside of me because I didn't quit. But that crowd, having somebody to cheer you on, even in this life, I get a lot of that from these podcasts. I guess I'm an introvert. I'm almost hermit in my action. I don't get out. So I hear a lot of people talk about joining movements and getting out and doing collective things. I've always had a problem with it. I don't know if it came from a childhood or PTSD or whatever. I just don't feel comfortable around a lot of people I don't know. But I sure appreciate the encouragement I get from these podcasts to pull me out of my little shell, communicating.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I live in a thought world. Most of my thoughts and what I deal with, and I talk to people, but I haven't tried to share. I talk to Rico. He's about the only person I found in this area where I can talk honestly. They don't think I'm crazy.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that from him.
Absolutely. Good brother, man. Don't tell him I said that, man. But you're a good brother, man. Don't tell him I said that. Whatever you do, don't you tell him I said that.
I won't tell him.
If you tell him,
I won't tell him.
Don't you do that.
My words are bond.
There you go. Badger, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Another beautiful day.
Yes, sir. We're talking about, Badger, do we waste a lot of time? Do we, as individuals and collectively and individually, do we waste a lot of time? Badger, what do you say to that?
Waste a lot of time.
Do we procrastinate a lot?
I think it depends on the end of man, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there's some people that work really hard of just flowing with just going with the flow no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there are other times where, man, like you can stop yourself from being able to move forward.
Mm.
And it can be hard to get past certain things to be
Mm-hmm.
able to go farther. Um, so I think looking at it in that perspective, I guess you could say that yes, you waste time
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because at that point it's a choice. But I think in general, the overall perception of us wasting time it doesn't have the same definition as mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel sometimes we need to fall flat on our face to learn lessons sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But if we choose to ignore those lessons over and over again, then I think we get into the boundaries of wasting time.
Mm.
There's so much, to me, there's a lot of depth to that because you have to add in experiences, you've got to add in, surroundings. Like some of us had supportive parents, some of us didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're
So
just
is it
talking about that.
right? So is it our fault if we wasted time because we did this, or this?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it because of a collection of things we chose to go down this route? It taught us these lessons, but it really wasn't for us
Mm-hmm.
because we were
Mm-hmm.
trying to make them happy instead of them supporting us in what we wanted or
Okay.
felt like doing.
Mm-hmm. Let me
If you get where I'm going.
I do, but and let me ask you this question as well. What about social media? Do we waste a lot of time on social media? And we also spoke earlier about watching television. Do we spend too much time in front of that like my grandmother used to call it, the idiot box? Do we spend too much time in front of that idiot box, watching TV, social media, different things like that? Do we find out sometimes that what we plan on sitting there for 10 minutes for could end up being 2, 3, 4 hours us being in front of the television or on social media?
Man, that is so hard. I think it's a 50-50
Mm-hmm.
because there's certain situations where, like, depending on where you live, right,
Mm-hmm.
is going to decide if you feel safe enough to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Just literally just
But even with that, Badger, and we're gonna go to Tucson because Tucson's with us as well. Even with that, going outside is one thing, but while you're inside, the choices that you make, your choices don't necessarily have to be on social media or watching television. You could be doing something a little more productive while you're even inside.
oh yeah. A lot of times, I mean, you could be making music, making art, doing all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For some people, social media is their escape
Mm-hmm.
from IRL. Um, so like that is not a simple question to answer.
That's good. That's good. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Kurt, come to you next, brother.
So well,
You,
good morning.
you all right over there?
I was just stretching.
Tucson, let me ask you this question, brother. Do we individually and collectively, do we waste a lot of time?
Yes. You know what I thought about? You know what I thought about when you said that. What are we gonna do with that rock we get from Mars?
Lord Jesus. Boy, look at Boy, your signal must be broke too, son, because you took a turn on me there, brother. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. I mean, we got so much that we can be a help to.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of doing things that really don't make it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. We choose to do that because everybody want to be famous. And I just say, in our normal conversation, we have to think it over so that we will sound intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
We want to sound like we're experts on this matter. I've looked into it. Well, just say what you got to say, man. You don't waste all that time. It's a waste of time trying to impress people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a waste. It's a waste. I mean, why are we in other folks' business? That's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
You're fooling around. You're trying to figure out how. Here I am spending time wondering what's going on with Raheem when I got all kinds of things going on with Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
It's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We run around in circles. Around in circles.
Will it fly high like a bird up in the sky? Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Go ahead, man. You pull me into that one, brother. Go ahead.
You see? Look at that.
You pulled me into that one. Before you know, I'm sitting here doing this here, and before you know it, 30 minutes later, we over here singing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I say this when I shut up. There was this guy, and some of you all know the story. He's just looking up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
He's just standing, looking up. And all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, they gather around him, looking in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody came to their senses. So what are you doing? And I would just say it short. He says, "I'm gathering fools."
Wow. Okay. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I was just sitting here thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is no slight to any of us. I'm on this show, right?
Uh-huh.
But I was just sitting here thinking, who are we to state? I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute here. Who are we to state what is a waste of time for other people? Because even in stating that, right, wouldn't that be based off of our own personal belief of what a waste of time is? And I only say that because I'm thinking, like, for example, I'm thinking from the perspective of being a counselor.
Okay.
What you may deem inappropriate don't necessarily mean that the person that you deemed inappropriate believes that what they're doing is inappropriate. Good, bad, or indifferent.
That's good.
A person may sit on a wraparound porch all day smoking a corncob pipe and watching the cars ride by. We as human beings have a tendency to say, "Oh, Mr. Johnny just sitting over there wasting his time." Right? When in reality, that may be the one time in Mr. Johnny's life that he actually had or has a peace of mind. It might be the one space that Mr. Johnny has that in all reality belongs to him and him only. He ain't got to worry about nobody inundating him with a bunch of questions, foolishness, circumstances. You know, I heard Mr. Hicks say earlier how he's a hermit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some folks would say that Mr. Hicks is wasting the remainder of the time that God has allotted him on this earth. But the truth could be that being a hermit allows for him to gain a certain level of peace with all of the things that he done gone through, a certain level of peace that being wrapped and engulfed in society will not allow for him to get.
Mm-hmm. But you know what, Curtis, and I'm gonna say this to you. I understand what you're saying, and I definitely appreciate what you're saying. But I think it depends a lot on who we're talking about, because we can take that assessment and we can take and hold on to that, what you just said. But if we're talking about our kids, if we're talking about our kids or a family member that's always dependent on us for whatever reason, I think we would look at it a little differently. If there's a family member that's always depending on us to come and save them, for their bills or whatever it is that they're doing, and you get tired of them, keep coming. Man, you just sit there looking at TV all day. You sit there on that game or social media all day long. Won't you go out there and do something better with your time and make some money, so I ain't got to keep coming here writing you these checks? So I think it depends on the person and the situation, because if it was that situation right there, you're gonna tell that person they're wasting their time, man. I think you're really gonna tell that person, and you're not saying it to be judgmental. You're not saying it to be judgmental. It's just that I'm tired of have to come on here and save you. Go out there and get you a job. Do something more productive with your time.
I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Like, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Absolutely.
But I get what you're saying. But I can also be the one to rebut that and say, well, I wonder if that was the thought when Jobs was just a young wee snapper.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that was the thought when Mark Zuckerberg was eating Fruit Loops and never leaving his room.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that was the thought when the creators of IBM was just sitting in their garages, just putting together motherboards for computers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mm-hmm.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here now. Now, I'm not saying anybody is wrong in their thought and their opinion.
Now, we don't use that term anymore here.
I also noticed that, and it's shameful, it hurts me to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times we as an African American community, we have a tendency to step on the love of a person's craft because it may not yield no money in the beginning.
Well, see, and the thing about this,
when we step on that, to be blatantly honest, because I'm speaking from the perspective of, like, I've been acting for years.
Mm-hmm.
My father has never seen me on stage ever before in his life.
Mm-hmm.
My mother has only seen me on stage once. I was like Rico. I had coaches in Pop Warner that was wanting to pay me to come and play for them. So I could have been getting paid to play football when I was 12 years old. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
My mother and father only saw me play football one time. There was not that support system. I used to get, you know how many players in college? You know what you're going to have to compete against?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just go and get a job?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just speaking from the perspective of playing devil's advocate, saying,
I just told you we don't use that term right here.
There is a right and wrong way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
But do we sometimes have a tendency to gauge what is right and wrong primarily from what is right and wrong in our mind without even
Wrap it up,
having empathy
mm-hmm.
to address that very same issue from the other side of the table?
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not gonna say that you're wrong in saying that, but my thing is right here. A lot of times people don't see, and when you made the reference to Mark Zuckerberg, whatever that brother's name is, and all these different people, when you made those references, I can understand what you're saying from that, but at the same time, most of the time, majority of the time, people don't see the end result. People don't see the end result. People don't see the finish line. They only know what's going on at that particular time, and they recognize what's going on at that particular time. And in their mind, they say that they're wasting time. They're wasting their time. Rico, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, each condition is I'm gonna say exclusive to that situation. We have some situations where parents, like you said earlier, they really can't help it. They gotta work, they gotta provide those things, Then we have sometimes where we see people actually doing things that will make them successful one day. Maybe learning how to work on a computer, you can teach yourself to program one without going to school.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was a generation of people in California, I think in Silicon Valley, where people were dropping out of high school because they were so smart and in tune with programming computers and coming up with programs, and they dropped out of school and went into this new environment that made them very successful. But some people probably would have been like, man, you need to get off in front of that computer and get outside and get you some sunlight. See, I hear, man, in our community, I hear that all the time. You'll see some very smart children that's on the computer doing intelligent things. They might not be, doing YouTube. They might be looking up stuff that's really very informational. But then you'll have some old goofy fanatic come in, and the first thing they see is, man, you too big to be sitting up in his house on that computer. You got to play some football. Yeah, he's 200-some pounds, but ain't nobody ever even got out there and taught him how to be a man. He don't even know how to use his strength. He might be 200 or 300 pounds because he just sit up and eat the whole time while he in that computer learning how to program or getting his information. So, somebody would look at that the wrong way and think that just because he got that size, he wasting his time. He needs to be out there on somebody's football field, giving them the wrong information. Yeah, well, put him on out there so he gets CTE. Or let him sit in front of that computer, and he could probably come up with his own Facebook. He could probably come up with his own social media site. So, to some people, it look like it's a waste of time. And to others, it look like a wise investment. It look like a wise use of time. So it really, you really have to dig deep into what they're doing, what they're trying to get out of it. Are they doing it just for entertainment purposes? Are your parents missing your events? Or are you missing your children's events just because you want to make sure you saw the new episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta? Because some people do that. Some people will put their social events and television events, the Grammys, something that they want to watch live. They want to watch this game. Yeah, I think preachers preach on this all the time. People want to leave church so they can catch the game, they catch the kickoff on Sunday. Now, you could easily waste a whole lot of time every weekend watching football. From morning to night. And don't accomplish nothing of necessity or priority. All because you caught up in indulging in that entertainment, being distracted. So, I mean, it really is a touchy situation. It depends on what you're getting out of it. I can see a scout watching football all day. But a fan, I'm pretty sure there are a lot more important things a fan can do with his children or with family members than watch football all day.
Exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning to everyone. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. We're asking a question, Captain. Do we, individually and collectively, as a whole, do we waste a lot of time?
Do we individually and collectively
or collectively
as a whole?
Yeah. Do we waste a lot of time?
As a people, as human beings?
Yes.
To speak a little bit more specific, as a people, as human beings?
Yes.
Okay, as a people. Yeah, I think we do. I think we do waste a lot of time. I don't think we have the training to recognize time management. Time is a very hard thing to manage, and especially if you have not been disciplined
Mm-hmm.
to recognize the value of it. I used to say, always watch, not watch was that of show. But you never seen Malcolm to a late. And he would always be on time and don't waste time. So I think, yes, time management is something that we don't practice, and we do waste a lot of time. I think it's because we have a lot of idle time. And when you find a lot of idle time, you'll find a lot of people that waste time. That's all I got to say.
Good deal. Good deal. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Sis, do we waste a lot of time as human beings? Like you said, as human beings, Lord G, I put an S on the end of it. Do we waste a lot of time?
Of course we do. Time management is one of the major issues we have as humans. A mother can never find enough time in the day. A dad can never find enough time today. You can be at work. It don't make no difference. Seem like you can never find enough time in the day to do all the things, and how more things keep coming up. And you don't have enough time in the day to make it happen. But that is absolutely correct. Most of our professions, when you work on being executives, management, things of that nature, it's all about time management. How much you can get done in X amount of time. Even with this show, we can never have enough time to talk about all the topics. Everybody say their own comment in a timely manner. You know what I'm saying? We can always utilize more time, but absolutely we do. And that thing spills out into everything. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we do in our daily life that reflects on in our personal and our business lives as well. You know, and it just seems like as humans, they keep us so distracted. They keep us so bogged down with the things that we have to do and influence us with the things that we want to achieve. Oftentimes we don't have time to teach our children because we out there making that money so they can have Jordans. Forget teaching them about respect.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We so busy out here trying to make sure we got our Benzes and I need my clothes and I got to get to work the next day. But you know that a 14-year-old child is at home by themselves and you actually think that they're going to do right. You know, I just had a conversation with a man the other day. I said, you know what I just noticed the breakdown was between adults and children? He said, what's that? I said, parents always trying to make y'all be something that they never could.
Wow.
Oh, well, you 14. Oh, I don't want him to do. Well, they gonna do it. Stop acting like they gonna be any more perfect than what we were. Allow them time to be a teenager. Why are you trying to make them? Oh, well, you need to do this. Grown people 70 don't sit still. Grown people 70 don't stay in the house and just focus on school. So why you expect a 16-year-old do it? You know, the time it takes for us to allow people just to be who they are and come into who they are. It's so many different ways we mess that up. But yeah, we do waste a lot of time, especially when we're young. Waste a lot of time making foolish mistakes, not listening, and we find out later. But yeah, us humans, we got an issue with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Badger, what's on your heart, sir?
And well, we can't be blaming other people for it. Because it's personal choices. And when it comes, like, you've got to respect other people and why they do the things that they do. Because I'm very hermit-like. I don't really like going out in general public. I really don't. However, I'm involved in a bunch of groups online where we support groups and all kinds of things. So I do things differently than some do. And to me, you know, some people think that is a waste of time. So between personal perceptions, personal choices, you know, are we judging or putting our very personal views onto someone else without fully understanding the situation when it comes to time?
I spoke earlier, Badger, about a person wasting, quote unquote, wasting time. But you always have to bail them out because they don't have enough money for their bills, or don't have enough money for this, and they don't have enough money for that. But they sit around all day, around the house, either social media, playing video games, or different things of that nature. And you get tired of it, and you say, "Well, look here, you know, you need to go out there and do something better with your time." Can you tell that person they're wasting their time if you have to keep bailing them out of situations to help them pay their bills or make ends meet, if you will?
If they are making videos
No,
and
I say
things like that,
playing videos. No, playing videos.
so they're sitting there, and I mean, that's complicated in my view, because is there something else going on that the person getting upset with them is not paying attention to?
Yeah, something going on. They have to keep paying their bills. That's what's going on. They have to
Well,
keep.
if that's the only focus, then at that point, if that person's just choosing to be lazy and they're an adult that has the capability of earning money or working, yeah, I'd say they're lazy.
Wow, good
But
deal.
but using the word time or wasting time, I'd say that I'm not going to spend my time on you anymore because it doesn't look like you're working on yourself.
Okay, that's good.
But I
That's good.
wouldn't be accusing them of wasting their time because that'd make them defensive.
I would. I mean,
But
I
I
would,
guess
Badger.
different approaches for different people.
Yeah, I would. I would tell them, yo, bro, you wasting too much. You wasting too much time. You sitting here on social media, man. You ain't making no money on that. You're sitting here playing these video games. Are you making money? You ain't making no money on that, bro. Rico, that to me, that's a problem. What do you say?
Definitely a problem. You know, with look, it's even to a point of where people's health is at stake. Like I said, you know, we have this I want to call it a diagnosis, or this category of people they came up with called couch potatoes. I mean, and then we have this problem with obesity. And these same people, sometimes they always complaining, oh, I can't get up, I can't do this and that. You ever seen that 600-pound life, man? Them people have to have somebody wipe their butt. But they just like to sit there and do what they want to do. They like to just sit there and waste time watching soap operas, watching reality shows, playing games, and eat. One dude, now he couldn't wipe his own butt or bathe himself, but when that ice cream truck came down the road, he knew how to get to the porch to eat breakfast. Mind you, I said ice cream truck and breakfast.
Wow.
He made that effort. But he can't even make an effort to wipe his own butt. So that's beyond lazy. That's addiction extreme. And the only thing he know how to do is consume, and do what makes him feel good. And then when he does something that doesn't make him feel good or he's ashamed of, he goes and soothes his heart by doing something else to make him feel good, like eating again. But that got him in the situation, him or her. But then when they got people that work with him, come on, man, look, I just want you to come out here every day and just do 100 steps.
Yeah.
This is so tiring. I don't know if I want to do the 100 steps, but I'm going to do it. You ought to hear those doctors chastising them. Because they won't put the time and effort in to do what they claim they want to do. They claim they want to be healthy. But they choose to do the things that make them feel good. So that's what we are. We are a species that are addicted to doing things that make us feel good, and we don't know how to find that balance to sacrifice to maybe do things that's best for us, do things that we need to do, or to do things that we need to do for other people, like Toya said. Teach our children respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Teaching our children how to have motivation, how to have resilience, how to not give up. Instead, we'll go make all this money to make sure we can buy them PS5s when they first come out. Matter of fact, some people putting up money right now for the PS6. So when they come out with that, they're going to be the first ones to pop that money down and get it with all the accessories. And their children are going to be able to sit there and get out of their hair and stay out the way and play some more video games.
Exactly. Wow. Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Mr. Hicks, you back with us?
Yes, sir, I am. Wow, deep thought. I was thinking about a skit I saw a few days ago about this mother. She was talking to a infant. I guess it's about maybe 6 months, maybe 3 or 4 months, real young. And the mother was saying to the baby, "I love you, say that." And the baby was looking at the mother's face. And you can't believe this, but that baby said, "I love you." And the mother, the people in the film, they were shocked. And it made me sort of remember a thing about our human development. We mimic the people around us. We that's how we learn how to operate in the world. And a lot of the examples we have was contradictory. But I was thinking about the hermit kind of thing. I remember when I was little, I guess I'm about 4 years old, my grandfather took me to his father. And his father didn't live in that house. We had to meet him at a certain place out in the woods. He was a Native American. And it made me think about the DNA and things that are programmed inside of us that we can reprogram, but we're automatically programmed by our heredity. And this hermit, I've had people all my life tell me that I'm depriving people of my light, and I'm depriving myself of seeing the light in other people. I'm being in this kind of whatever it is. I'm comfortable and peaceful being alone. I've always been a lone wolf. Even in the military, I never considered myself as being a soldier rather than a warrior. And in that sense, I mean that I always had this kind of desire to pick my own battles. I don't want, I pick my battles, but didn't work good with that. But I think there's personality types in psychology. There's agreeable people and non-agreeable people, and I think I fit in that area of being agreeable. I guess I've always been considered naive in all of my emotional and romantic relationship. I was naive. I look for the best in people. I expected the best in people, and that's naive. I think that it's important to have people around you that can say something to you like that. Like, wow, man, you spending too much time. I know you need that. You usually have it within your family. But the way life is now, families don't live close together. One family member lives there, and this one lives way over there, and you don't have that loving concern of the mother. My mother's gone now. All through her life, I would always call her. I call her every day, but I call her specifically when I had issues in my life. I wanted her to pray for me. I always had to believe that her prayer was special.
Yes.
And it was. Looking back in retrospect, that Helen Miller song, I had a praying mother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It carried me. I had a faithful praying mother that always shined her love through her words on me. And it was always, a lot of times, it was a reprimand. But she could do it.
Exactly.
But I think you need people to, especially if you're paying for someone. With my children, I usually let them live their life. I don't bother them. But when they start calling me to ask for money, that gives me a license now to criticize. That's part that comes with it. You got to hear these words now.
So you gonna let them hear a long story? Let me tell you about this. I'm just picking at you, brother. Let me go to let me go to Rico. I think I just left Rico. Let me go to who we got? Tucson. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart? Kirk, coming to you next, brother. Tucson, what's on your heart? Tucson, let me ask you this question. And this question I'm asking right now. If an individual, family member, friend, or whatever, let's say family member of yours, they spend a lot of time in front of the TV, watching TV, playing video games, or different things of that nature. And you keep having to bail them out because they come in short on their bills. So every month, every other month, you have to write them a check to help pay the bills. Is it going to come a point in the time where you can look at here, man, you need to stop playing all them games, stop watching all that TV, man, go out there and get you a job, man, because I'm getting tired of bailing you out every month, every other month, man, you coming to me for money. Can that become a nuisance?
You mean after the first time? Because that's it. I have some relatives love me. I mean, I love my people, real. But I watch some of them go on vacation and come back and can't pay the light bill.
Wow.
Don't you call me? I hope you enjoyed yourself. Now you got to find your way around in the dark till you get the money some kind of way. Love you. Here's another thing. You can't come stay with me. I hope you enjoyed the trip. You had fun. I saw you. Oh boy, you was buying cotton candy and everything else.
Wow.
On a cruise ship. I seen it. And because we'll post our business. And I had a relative that went out on a trip and they just showed everybody how good of a time they had. Well, somebody that they had once invited to their house took everything they had while they was gone. You can't borrow no furniture from me.
Yeah.
Love you. But you talking about the sitting on the couch and enjoying a good old video game and can't pay your bills? Well, good luck to you. They got plenty of homeless people.
Wow. Curtis, what's on your heart?
I mean,
go ahead. No, I'm sorry. No. Finish your thought, Tucson. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. There are some people are homeless by choice. Others are homeless by fault. Time will catch up with you. You know, and when you talking about wasting time, we try to be impressive to other folks.
Yes, sir.
How good we live in it. Car look nice, but don't you go? Some people they riding in the fine. Man, they got a nice car and they wear some fine clothes. But you know, when you go to their house, you can't use their bathroom and the kitchen nasty too.
Lord Jesus. Tucson, do you really? Is this must be Monday morning, man? Do you really want to hit them that hard on Monday morning, brother?
Wait till Wednesday.
Kurt, talk to me, brother. Kurt, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay out of this one, man.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kurt. Yeah. What I hear from you, bro?
Kurt scared. We done scared Kurt. We done scared Kurt, man. Kurt scared on a Monday morning. Kurt scared on a Monday morning, man. I'm gonna call him out. That brother scared, man. That brother scared. Let me go to somebody else, man. That ain't scared this morning. Well, let me go. Kurt, should I go to somebody else that's not scared, man?
Keep calling in the wind, man. I just don't like. I don't see it like everybody see it, man. I don't see it like everybody see it. One, I'm just gonna say this, man. Like, I work in this industry. I'm in it every day. These people that's homeless, they homeless because they sick, man. They are sick. We don't want to admit it, but these folk are sick. We are wrapped in a system.
Kurt, are we putting them all? Are we putting them all in the same category? I don't think what we're talking about right now necessarily mean that the element that you're talking about, because that's one thing. But we're talking about a person that's basically not sick, that's very able, but they choose or they select to sit on that couch watching TV all day or playing those videos all day. They're able. They're very able. That's what we're talking about.
Anybody Somebody who chooses to sit on the couch and not get up and do the things that would preserve their first law of man is mentally not stable. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that would make the choice to sit on a couch and be trifling, if you realistically put in the work and you had them sit on a couch, you would find out.
You don't think some people? You don't think some people are? You don't think some people are just lazy, Kurt?
No, listen, we all have a lazy streak in us.
Mm-hmm.
All of us. Every single one of us, to some degree, has a lazy streak in us.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're willing to go against the first law of man, which is self-preservation, something is wrong with you. We're not going. Don't just marginalize that down to just being lazy, because even if you take away all the aid and all the assistance and everybody say, nope, we're not going to do it no more, the lazy man will then realize that, well, I got to get up and go get a job.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do something.
Okay.
I got to.
I mean, that's your stance. Go ahead, brother. Make your point.
Yeah. I don't.
Make your point, brother.
I think that what we the tendency to deem as a waste of time represents what we believe time is.
Mm-hmm.
And for others, it's not a waste of time. I remember growing up, I'm a land this plane right here. I remember growing up as a kid, and I used to live in a town called Westport, which is a multi-race town.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a homeboy of mine, we was young back then. We was like 10 years old. He liked to play in the mud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like he would just play in the mud. Every time we went outside to play, he wanted to play in the mud. He wanted to play in dirt and this, that, and the third. But his family, they never stopped him from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he is now? He owns the third largest construction firm in the state of Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. He owns the third largest construction firm in the state of Maryland, from demo to build.
But Kurt, let me ask you this question. I got to go to somebody to pull everybody else into the conversation. But is that different, playing in the mud, to somebody just sitting on the couch and watching TV and playing video games all day? Can you find a difference in that?
Well, no, it's not no different, because if you are wasting time,
mm-hmm.
if you're talking about wasting, I know of several parents. My parents was one of them. They would have said, "Why you out there playing in that dirt, wasting all that time? You got other things to do."
Mm-hmm.
Without realizing that, what, that might be a gift of his.
Okay.
His parents let him. He took his buckets out there because they was thinking in the mindset of, what, if that's what he loved to do. Here's the problem.
Okay. And wrap it up, because I got to go to somebody else, brother.
In our community, we are taught to have our hobby that we love and work another job, instead of taking the thing that we love to do and make it our job. We taught in reverse. So I'm not saying that it's right for somebody to just live and not do nothing with their life. Don't misconstrue that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying, the time to find out, why is this neglect or neglect setting on the couch and not doing nothing with their time?
Mm-hmm. Okay, stay right there, Curtis.
Before we make blanket statements.
Good deal. Stay right there, man, because I know a lot of people have a lot to say about what you just said. We got two people that I had not addressed, and then I'll make my way back around to everybody. Let me go right now to Willa. Willa, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Raheem. Good morning, Morning Glow.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Willa, do we waste a lot of time? And what do you think about that situation that Kurt was just talking about as well? But first, let's deal with our topic. Do we waste a lot of time?
Do we waste a lot of time? There are some people that waste a lot of time, Raheem. I was listening to what you asked about the person that be on the couch playing video games.
Yes.
Well, I actually knew somebody like that. He was a grown man. He had separated from his wife, moved in with his sister, and she only charged him a little bit amount of money. But when he moved in, he didn't have a job, but he was skillful. He was able to do a lot of stuff, and he was skillful. He was a part of the family. So I got to know him to a point where I tried to inspire him to be something different than what he was. So when there were jobs, I would take him to the job because he didn't have a car. And then finally, to make a long story short, the man today, and he was at home playing video games. He wasn't looking for work. He would do just enough to pay her the money to live every month. And he's in his 50s. But anyway, to make a long story short, as I constantly spent time with this family member, I encouraged him through his breakdown. He now has a car. He now has a job. He still plays video games, mind you. He's still living with his sister, but he's added more to his life than what he had before because of a breakdown.
Wow.
It wasn't because he was lazy. He was going through. He blamed everything. He was honest about what had happened. He knew it was him. He didn't say his wife was this. He didn't blame her. He blamed himself. That's one thing I liked about him. He accepted the responsibility, and God placed me in his life to give him some direction.
Absolutely.
To
That's
this
good.
day, he's doing better.
That's good.
So it does happen for some people.
Good deal. Paul, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I wanted to comment on what Curtis said
Okay.
about the kid and the dirt. I think the point of that was that I think as adults, as parents and teachers and stuff, we should pay attention to what kids are. They have like he called it a gift, and that worked out for that kid. So you got to be patient. That's like people. I think that's one of my strengths is I'm pretty patient with my students. So, but you can't go too far. That's the problem. If he's like, okay, you get to play in the dirt 8 hours a day or something, then or you're playing video games 8 hours a day or whatever, it's definitely a problem. So, but back to the original question about do we waste time? I certainly waste a lot of time in my life, and I think part of it was like because we always want to be perfect. We always want to be the best. And instead of being the best or being perfect, we should I think I've changed my philosophy now. I think I try to be better than I was yesterday. So, when you get locked up in the idea of you're either the best or you're bad, that mentality is really harmful. So I think when people have that mentality, they can be, they waste time.
Yeah, good deal, good deal. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis. Toya, you there? Did we lose Toya with a T? Well, let me see. Toya, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Rico, talk. Okay, there you go. Talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
Yeah. So I get it, right? We do have mental issues to keep people sitting on the couch, and that need to be a diagnosis. So this is the tricky part. When we become adults, I understand that we still got kids to raise. We still got bills to pay. And if you're not married to Beyonce, we can't afford for you to go down like that. Now, is that a real life reality? No. But a woman may not be very patient with a man who sits on his butt and just plays video games for 2 years and don't get up and try to do nothing. Because we need help out here in the streets. You might have broke from reality, but reality is still rolling on for me and your kids. So even though these are things that are real and true, I got a nephew that went to the military. He went through that too. Him and his baby mama not together. Why? Because she needed help out here in these streets. You still got to keep going. We done all been through things. Hey, I get it. I've been molested. It was a whole bunch of things I had to put in my head too to get up and keep going. Because sitting down playing the game all day, you're going to be put out. We all going to be homeless.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we got to find a way to come back from reality. I know it's hard. But if you ain't signed up for that disability check to come running through them doors, we finna have a complication because we still got to live.
Mm-hmm.
So everything we saying is true. And it may be some kind of breakdown or psychotic break. But can you call your car note company and tell them that and still keep your car?
Can
you call your house company that and still keep your car?
Mm-mm.
So we got to figure out what the problem is. If you're just being lazy, sitting your butt on the couch because somebody's going to help you, that's totally different from you having a psychotic issue that you need to go get addressed, that you can get a check for because they're going to help you with assistance because you have a real psychotic break where you cannot work.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going to follow the steps, and I'm saying this as a woman, don't you come to me talking about you can't work and take care of this household with these kids and you ain't been to no doctor to get yourself checked out because we're going to have to do something. They got resources.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just not a no-go in reality. Is it true what happens? Yes. But now how are we going to move forward? Now, I'm not going to say that your sickness is a waste of time. But if you're sitting up here 8 hours a day playing the game and you're not going nowhere trying to get you some help to get back on track, I promise you, year one, I got to go. Mm-hmm. So, we got to take things in perspective. You know how many women have issues with postpartum depression after they have kids and they got to keep going?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? So we really got to look at this, even with your kids. Now, somebody said, okay, well, the kid played in the dirt. And he's this whole mogul. All right. So from a psychology aspect, they say when you tell kids what not to do, when you stop kids from doing something, it stunts their growth and what they think they can do. This is the theory behind why white people let their kids do whatever. Because when you don't tell them what not to do, the sky's the limit and they can achieve whatever they want to because you never told them no. Right. Mm-hmm. But Paul just said something. Watch your kid and see what your kid does the most. Again, I can't speak for white households, but black people always hollering, sit down, don't touch nothing, don't do this, don't do that, leave that alone, be still, don't do this. And you wonder why they got ADHD because there's no way for them to actually get off that energy or for you to be able to pinpoint what they're good at because you want them to sit down at 2, 3, or 4. And then at 7, when they still sitting down on the couch because they've been telling them to sit down for the first 5 years, you're wondering why they don't want to get up and do something. So there's a multitude of things that goes into this topic where we're talking about, and depending on the individual, you can't generalize everything. You can't generalize a person, say, oh, well, they're abused and that's why they're abusive. No, it's a lot of people who are not abusive who've never been abused. We have to find out the real situation. It's a lot of background you got to learn. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things you got to learn in that person. However, when we grown, I'm sorry that you had a mental breakdown, but if you got a wife and kids, you got to keep finding a way to go, bro.
Exactly. Make it work. Make it happen. Make it happen. Captain, what's on your heart?
Oh, brother, I got no more than the end of this conversation. I want to ask you a question.
Uh-oh. Captain, you're breaking up a little bit. Say that one more time.
I said, what was the reason you came up with this topic? I ain't got no more than this. So I just want to know. There was something that, I'm sure there was some reason you came up with it. What was the reason?
Well, because I was talking to somebody and they had this idea that they were not wasting a lot of time. And I told them, I said, look, bro, you waste a lot of your time really doing nothing. And they pretty much had the same stance that Kurt had, that it's going to evolve into something. No, I was going to tell you what it was they were doing. But what they were doing, I couldn't see it. I know, and maybe they see something that I don't see. I'm not always the sharpest knife in the drawer, but at the same time, I'm not the dullest either. And so I couldn't see what they were doing at that time, or what they're doing, because they hadn't stopped doing it, as being productive, as anything that could actually turn into something that's going to be beneficial for them, especially when they're in a deep hole right now. They're in a real deep hole. And that's their way of getting out. And I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. But go ahead.
Okay, well, I think everybody covered everything. I ain't got no else to speak. I'm glad you explained it because I was trying to figure what inspired it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I ain't got no more to add to that unless you go into another topic.
Okay. Well, let me go to Ibrahim. I hadn't addressed Ibrahim. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, family. Good morning.
Ibrahim, do we waste a lot of time?
And that's a question that is loaded with me. I think, we've had kind of conversations about other topics.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it comes to the point is, prioritizing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we waste a lot of time, and I'm not saying we wasted time now. It's good to have a conversation between people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But look what's going on in the world, in the community. Thousands, tens of thousands of black men and women and children are missing. And a good part of that, they've been kidnapped or taken or murdered, something like that. No, or organ donation, whatever. And we're interested if we're still fighting the black man, the black woman battle. We're fighting the inter and outer battles. We're not fighting some of the things that be done. So, is this a waste of time that we're doing now, or is it important that we do this because we need communication?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, that's a loaded gun with me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes laying back or laying down and taking a break, from life or what's going on, sometimes it's necessary. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this question, Ibrahim. Is life going to stop because a person want to take a pause or take a break, or is life going to continue?
Nope.
Okay.
No, it's not. But it might be different science in this side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Life doesn't stop, but sometimes you have to stop.
Mm.
Let me pose a hypothetical question.
Okay.
How fast would you go from universe to universe, right? If you were to just completely stop where you're at right now, and the universe pass you by, then you're gonna run into the next universe.
Mm-hmm.
So, so is it as a complete stop, or we're actually riding along for a minute, and observing? That's a question.
That's a question.
That's way out there, but it's a question. Can you imagine if we're traveling 250 million years to go around the black hole or some universe,
mm-hmm.
and all the universes are circling around the universe in the universe. You just come to a complete stop in this universe, and the universe will tear away from you,
mm-hmm.
and you'll collide into another universe that's coming to you. So, are you just observing, or are you just riding along?
Mm. I think a part of the problem, tying it into the conversation that we're having right now, I think a part of the problem is some people are just riding along, and that Harry hippie approach, and I think that's a big part of the issue. Rico, what's on your heart?
That's true. I mean, the point is that time is being wasted, whether there's a mental problem or not. The time is still being wasted. Now, the reason why may be a mental issue. The reason why is just maybe the person might just be lazy and that's all they know.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't feel like doing it. When somebody prefers to play a video game or to just sit back and watch TV and go and get dishes and dirty them up and bring them in there and eat while they're playing the game and then slide the dishes up under the bed or up under the table and let those pile up. They made an effort to go and get the dish, but they won't even make an effort to take it back and wash it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people let their hygiene go.
Yep.
Just because they put that priority. That you see, we still got to think about addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is past things, and then some things are adapted. Because children aren't born into this world addicted to video games.
Mm-hmm.
But they get introduced to it. It may have been innocently. It may have just been, hey, I got to give these children something to do while I'm working from home, or whatever the reason is. You know what I'm saying? You still have to find a way to teach these children how to sacrifice and find balance.
Mm-hmm.
I saw in China where they said that they were going to try to limit children's activity or access to the internet and to video games to 8 hours a week.
Wow.
A lot of people got mad about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we hate communism. But I'm like, wait a minute, man, that makes sense to me, man, because a lot of children spend 8 to 10 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
If I am mistaken, there have been people went into gaming cafes
Mm-hmm.
and died from staying up 2 days straight gaming.
Mm-hmm.
They work too. So, you know, it's still a desire thing, a priority thing. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like this. You got potential, priority, and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making them mud piles out there playing around with wood and you actually trying to build something and you going through trial and error, you know what I'm saying? People might need to let you go ahead and do what you do, but they'll tell you that you're wasting time. You know, I was told when I was younger, when I had to quit playing sports, that playing saxophone was a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kenny G made it, but you ain't gonna never become never playing saxophone, and I believed it. I didn't have a support system behind me to tell me differently, that there was a way out with my saxophone or with music.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that, you know, and I noticed in our community, man, for some reason in our community, we tend to make our youth think that the best and most surefire way out to success is through entertainment and athletics.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Wow.
And so, you know, and that, to me, that is a sign of not paying attention to that child's full potential. They may want that operation game set so they could be a doctor one day, and that's the closest thing they could come to being a doctor at 4 or 5 years old is by playing operation.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But you don't want them to play operation. You ain't got time for that game. You're just gonna have it all scattered around. You're gonna put it in the closet and forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Legos and the log cabins and the rocket sets the children ask for?
Mm-hmm.
How many black children you see with rocket sets? But I guarantee you a lot of black children wanted them when they looked in those Sears catalogs.
Exactly.
But see, the parents didn't invest into those children.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to invest into them. Sometimes it might look like a waste of time, but you have to invest into them. But at the same time, still take the time to invest. Take the time to be interested to see what it is they're into. If you talk to them and listen, you might be able to rationalize yourself where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of you just looking at it from the outside, looking in and saying, oh, those just childish games.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Good morning to you, sir. I know you've been listening. What's on your heart right now? Do we waste a lot of time?
Just been listening for a little bit. What was the actual topic?
Do we waste as a whole, human beings? Do we waste a lot of time?
No, it's relative.
Mm-hmm.
It's relative. What you consider wasting time may not be wasting time to somebody else.
Okay. Let me throw this one at you. We also spoke about this right here. If there's an individual, sitting on this couch, and just say it's couch in the living room, loves it, whatever he's sitting on, and either watching TV all day or playing video games, but you have to keep coming by and write him a check to help him pay his bills because he can't make ends meet. Would you consider that as wasting his time, or would you be okay with just going to that paying the bills for him or her?
No, that's completely different. That's not wasting time.
Wow.
The real problem is why you keep going by that.
Mm-hmm.
You the one with the problem, not him.
I don't know if I agree with that, brother. I don't know, but go ahead, make your point.
I wouldn't have a problem coming by paying my bills if I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're that type of fool, that's the problem. People be in people's business too much.
So basically what you're saying is just let them sit there, and then if they want to sit there and play the video game, let them sit there, and everything around them just get shut down in the house.
That's right.
Just let them sit there and do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen.
Yep. Boy, y'all some heartless folks, boy. Y'all some heartless folks, boy. Woo, Lord Jesus. Go ahead.
Because you sitting there, you the only one with the problem.
Mm-hmm. Because you want to help him.
But he doing something wrong.
Okay.
You see what he gonna do after you stop doing that? I mean, what kind of mess is that, Raheem?
Mm-hmm.
When somebody coming by paying your bills because you don't want to do nothing. There's a fool in that situation.
Well,
and
see,
it ain't the guy over there playing the game.
Well, my thing is right here. It happens all the time, man. Especially if it's a close family member or a child of yours. I've seen parents do it all the time. I've seen parents do it all the time. Pay these children's way, and they continue to do the things they do. Now, is the parent is the parents is the parent sick because he's trying to he or she is trying to do the best for their child? Or is that a sickness, or is that a love that they have for the child? And is love and better yet, is love or sickness?
That's why your child doing it.
You have to understand that there's a relationship dynamic as well. It's different when it's your child. Because you're responsible for your child.
Okay. So that makes it different.
So it ain't your responsibility, it's yours.
Well, the person that's doing it is somebody's child.
Not so what? Is it your child?
That's not my
How
point.
old is the child?
See, now y'all
if they over 21, Raheem, if they over 21, now you're becoming an enabler.
Right.
They're done in college.
But see, my thing is right here. Hold on, Rico, hold on one second. Rico, hold on one second. Let me say this right. My thing is this right here. Whether they're 21 or 28 or 30, they're still your child. And so, but go ahead, ask your question, Rico.
See, that's the problem, right?
They're still your child.
Some people stuck in their own perception of things. Now, I'm a person that pushes the wheel. See, I have a wheel, just like God has a wheel. And that wheel controls how I operate and interact with people. And I don't do things, get in the habit of doing things that I don't want to do. So I'm not sure when you say we this or we that, because we ain't never me. You understand?
Okay. No. My thing is this right here. My thing is this right here, Leonard. My thing is this right here. Regardless of how everybody and everybody got their own perception of we may talk about the same for 10 years and never agree on it. So that's fine, because everybody got their own perspective. I can't give you your opinion because you have your own. But my thing is, I don't care whether you're 18, 21, 28, 56, or whatever you are. That if that's your parent, that's still your parent, and that's still your child. Whether you enable them or not, that's a whole different conversation. And that could be very true. What y'all are saying, they're being enabled. That could be true. But that don't change the fact that that's your child. You have a love for your child, and you want the best for your child. I think every parent want that.
Right.
Yes.
Go
ahead, Rico.
I got another scenario to throw in there. The scenario that y'all use, that is correct. If that child is being lazy, they're being enabled. But now that child might be 25 or 28, and then they got children. And those children are suffering because of the lack of priorities from that child. So what the grandparents supposed to do, or the uncle or aunt supposed to do, just sit back and say, well, you know what? That's your business, you lazy. Them children got to suffer. They walk around with sagging pampers. Let them sag, ain't my business. Or you gonna say, well, you know what? That ain't the children's fault that the parents that lazy. See, you know, it's easy to just narrow it down to, oh, they just being lazy. But those children of those people that sitting there playing the video games, neglecting those children and refusing to go out there and take care of them, they need something. And as a community, and as a relative, sitting back watching your niece or your nephew just suffer so you can prove a point. Sure, I don't know about that.
Exactly. And that was one point. Let me go to Cassandra. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Let me. I'm gonna circle back around to you. Stay right there for a minute. Cassandra, I hadn't touched Cassandra yet. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning? And what's on your heart about this conversation?
Good morning. Do we waste time? Is that the question?
Yeah, that's the topic. But this thing kind of took a turn when we started talking about the situation with the child sitting on the chair or the couch or whatever it is, playing video games or watching TV all day, and the bills suffer. And then Rico brought another element to it. What he said, well, what about the children? What about if they have children? So I say that regardless of how old they are, they're still your children, and you still a parent still have a sense of responsibility, regardless of how old they are. They're still their child. So Cassandra, what's on your heart about this whole scenario?
Yeah, no, they're not going to sit around, especially if they have children, and do nothing. I mean, unless there's something physically are mentally wrong with them, you can't, because when you see your grandchildren suffering, then my automatic reaction is going to be, I need to take care of my grandchildren. I'm going to do that, but in doing that, I'm going to be motivating my child. Listen, it can't operate like we can't do that. Now, if that's the way you want to operate, if you were in your own place, then you can do it. But if you at my house, we're not going to do it like that. So I think, it's all about the children for me, making sure that the children are taken care of.
That's good. That's good. Badger, what's on your heart?
That's kind of what I was getting at earlier. Because, like, to me, there's always those situations of what are we to do? Because it's like the scenario you gave earlier of, you're helping pay for this person's place, right? Well, see, me, I would have went, all right, you got 3 months. I'll help you for 3 months. After that, you're on your own. And it's as simple as that. Because I have time I have to, that I have to worry about. I have 2 kids and a wife. So if I'm spending all my time with this person to make sure they get up off their tail end and do what I think they need to be doing, how much time am I taking away from my family? So I'd rather set these guidelines and go, all right, here's the line. This is the way this is going to work if you want me to help you. So me managing my time of interacting, even being on the show. There's times where I've had to mute my mic because my kids come first. So it's just one of the many situations. So this is very personal perception based. So if you're wanting to try to speak on one truth, I could say we all have time. But my perception of time versus your perception of time is bits and pieces might agree, but not 100%.
That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. K with an E.
One last thing.
Wrap it up. I bet you.
So what if it isn't them wasting time, but us wasting their time and ours?
I'm trying to figure out how that would work. Oh, let me go with K with an E. What's on your heart, sis? And good morning to you. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm fine. What's the question? Are we wasting our time by helping others?
No. The question is, how much time do we waste? Do we waste our time as humans? Do we waste our time? And then we kind of veered over to that scenario that happened with a young man or young lady that's sitting on their couch for all those hours doing nothing, and you have to pay their bills.
Okay. Well, as humans, some people do waste their time. I can speak for myself. I have some time out of my life to be from born to 60 that I definitely have wasted some time. Was I able to sit back and look at that like, man, I could have been doing something else. I did that for what? So that was wasted time for me, but it still taught me something in it. I learned out of it. And as far as enabling and all that, I can just use me for an example with my son. And I tell everybody, like, you let him stay there. He do this, he do that. He talk to you. I said, y'all know what? I'm doing what God want me to do right now. And I don't know what he need God do. Because I don't have it in my heart to do this and do that. I done said I wasn't going to do this and I wasn't going to do that. And God said, yes, you are. Now look where he's at today. He got a job for the railroad. They did whatever they did. Now he got another job for the railroad. And he also got custody of his oldest daughter.
Wow.
So God put him in that position. All of that you was doing, and you was running around here cutting up, and everybody told your mom she need to put you out and let go and all that. I had to do what God told me to do because I'm still a parent. He's 36, 37, and I still had to do that. He still lives upstairs, but now he's working on getting his own place because he's been put in a position. He got custody of his oldest daughter that's 13.
Wow.
So I'm like, look at what God will do. And helping people, I have helped people. I still help people. Like Rico said, I'm part of the community. And I can't help the community and can't help my own.
Yeah, that's good.
It
That's
definitely starts at home first.
Wow.
So I got to make sure he's okay as well.
See, I didn't know that this conversation.
Listen to this, y'all. I got a friend that said, he grown, you should do this, you should do that. You know what God did to her? God put her in the same position. Now she got a grown son. She got a grown son that don't even live with her. But she got to help him out, do this, do that. Then another guy, you should do this, you should do that. He's 67, living at home with his mama.
Wow.
So you got to watch what you say about people because you don't know what road God got for you. Because it ain't your road. You're just traveling it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toya, what did he talk to me, sis?
So I'm not sure if I can comment, right? Because I don't have kids. So whatever this special thing is about kids, I don't get. What I will tell you is that if I don't work, I feel like my manhood been taken away from me. I'm just saying. The man who do not eat, do not work, do not eat. My father raised me, and he's always raised me to work. And I've had a lot of depressed days, and I gotta get it. I remember putting myself out my parents' house at 23 because I was determined that when y'all get old, I need to be able to take care of y'all. So there's a cutoff limit for me, I believe. And I'm just coming from the kid aspect. You cannot do that until they're 30. You cannot. I disagree. I knew my parents gave me everything, and I knew if I wanted to, I could have stayed in that house, but I was determined to be a woman and hold my own. Through depression, through abortion, through rape, through molestation, through being put down, through working places being robbed from, through white men who didn't think I can do it, doing it. That's something that God gave me to get up and move and make something shake. So I had to shake depression. I had to shake some of the demons that was holding on me because that's not right. You must. I'm not saying don't support. I got nieces and nephews. Those are like my kids. I support them. But when they started having kids, you can't ask me for money. You beat me having kids. No, but should you need something for that child, I got it. Need Pampers, I give you Pampers. I'm not gonna pay your bills. You need assistance, I will assist you. I'm not gonna do it for you. And it's the same way as a manager. You can get mad all you want to, but if I see you filling out that application for your kid, he will not get hired because he's gonna be a man when he works for me. I'm not gonna hold his hand. I'm gonna make sure he's a black man in America. I'm not going to baby him. But I am going to give him all the tools that he needs to be successful. And I think that's where the breakdown is with an apparent household. I'm not saying don't support your kids, but support and living their life for them is two different things. You can't fill out your child application. Ain't no need in paying your child rent. You might as well move them back home with you. If you see that your kid is depressed and you letting them stay out there with babies and you're just giving them a check, what good is that? You need to, the babies can come home with me. If you want to stay here, then you go ahead and stay here. But clearly you're not mentally fit to be taking care of my grandbabies. So the grandbabies come here with me. And if you don't want to come home with me, that's on you. But I'm not going to be paying my rent, your rent too. No. Unless, of course, your daddy, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce, then you knock yourself out. But out here for the rest of us normal folk, we don't have two checks to be splitting in between two houses. So we're going to have to make some adjustments. And if it is a mental issue, we need to see about that. What we're not going to do is we're not going to cripple no more black men, y'all. We ain't talking about girls. We're talking about black men that got to marry somebody, that got to provide for somebody. And again, I'm not saying don't assist them, but we got to be real about what's going on and get help and give them the tools to be successful, not cripple them, not enable them, and not do the job for them. Assess the situation and make the best assessment from that, but don't do it for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm staying with my nephew. Why? Because I know he need assistance with his business. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, let me come step in. I can spend time with my nephew, not all of it, but let's come up with a program where I can help you rotate with the boys, because it's not that easy, and I can assist you with your business. But I'm not going to be doing it all for you. I'm running around here tired. You sitting up there doing it right. No, we not. You're going to have me flipping over tables, man. We got to assist them, but let's not enable them and take it from them. Let's do it with them, not instead of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
Yeah. I used to come home and air conditioner was on 65. And teenage, love my son. And I see a car parked in front of the yard with some fellas waiting on him. So I walked to the car, some of them my nephews. What's going on? Oh, we just chilling. Oh, you can't chill here. And you can't chill with him. Now, I love my son. 65. Oh, the air conditioner's on 65. Oh, what's going on with you? Oh, it's hot outside. Oh, really? You need a job. Oh, I don't want to fit. This is the conversation that I had with you. Oh, I don't want to flip no hamburgers. I'm not asking you to flip no hamburgers, but you need a job. So he goes out, comes back, no job, nothing. You know what I did? Took his clothes out the drawer in the closet. Because I will not, and I don't want to, either bury him or go get him out of jail for hanging out when he got some responsibilities to come on. My daughter, love her to death. She says, Daddy, I graduated. Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. I'm cutting you off because you got somebody to take care of yourself. I didn't really cut him off, but I wasn't going to carry them to do nothing. So here I took his clothes out. I didn't think my daddy would do that. But through time, they knew that they wasn't going to lean on me. So it made them do. Sometimes it worked for some people. Sometimes it don't. But we can't be crutches for these children, because now, you know, they enjoy their money and they want to take care of the bills with yours.
Wow.
And I don't want my child to suffer. The boy 36. He ain't a child no more. As a matter of fact, he got 3 children. Really?
Wow.
So when is the child going to ever grow up? And then now, because we have done that, now not only do you have to take care of him, you got 3 grandchildren you're also taking care of, and you go out when you're supposed to be enjoying life. I don't know if that's a waste of time, but it works for some people. It just don't work for me.
There you go. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir? Mr. Hicks, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Yes, sir. I was thinking about what Kurt said. You know, dealing in the I guess dealing with juveniles and dealing with delinquent juveniles and trying to sort out and get them to fit back in. I realized from self-reflection that the changing environment, we're in an age now, I'm being, like I said, 73, we're in an age now where things are shifting and changing so fast. The stress levels of everything. You know, when I was in my early years, we go down to the basement. Teachers call alarm coming. Everybody piled down in the basement for fear of this nuclear. And we're really at that point now. I think that I look at it and see that people have hidden mental, I wouldn't call it a mental disease, but a mental block or something that happened in their childhood or something they can't put together in the world. But when people are not competitive and not trying to file for their own in the world, there's really some kind of defect going on inside of them. I just know sometime, and that's, I guess they call it spiritual, that thing of discernment, to know who it is that you need to carry for a while and who you need to let stand on their own and learn from experience. I got my youngest son, who's he's a sibling of four others, but he came along so late that he acts like an only child. He's not as independent and assertive as the others. And I've had my other kids say, like, you baby him. He is the baby. And there's something that comes with that, I guess, on a real level. But I feel that sometimes when you watch how the systematic creating adolescents to go into the 30s with the games and the different programs that went on in society, it's almost going back to before when they had child labor and they put the child labor laws out there to keep kids from doing the work. They created adolescents to keep them out of the workforce so they can have adolescent period. So these things are not natural, and they've got to adapt. Mental illness and the stress of this society and changing of it, it's so complicated you can't see it. But once you sit down with these kids and you've been and listen to them and sort of hear their personal experience in life, you recognize and try to help them get rid of these blocks, these thought blocks that they created there to make them want to sit on the couch and not compete.
Wow.
Or make them procrastinate. But it's really depends on things. But shoot, my children, they're grown, have their own lives, but I am still Abu Kai. I'm still their father.
Yeah. Good deal. 5089. Go ahead.
Got to leave for a second. I got another call line, but I'm listening back to you, brother.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. 5089243521. 5089243521. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother?
No, not too much, man. I'm just listening to what's everything that's being said. You know, sometimes in this great American experiment that we exist in, we have became enablers in support of maladaptive behavior. That is true. But in my daily comings and goings and paying attention to what's going on and how things are rolling, you almost can't help but be an enabler. The way the system is designed and or set up, it is designed and or set up to perpetuate the fact that you'll never truly get beyond where they want you to get to. It's so evident, and the hypocrisy is so widespread that most people have been discouraged to even put forth an effort and or put forth the time to make the effort. A prime example is, for example, the latest signing of a piece of legislation that would remove $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan debt. We have people hair on fire talking about these people should not be bailed out. We shouldn't have to pay for this, and we shouldn't have to pay for that, and we shouldn't have to pay for this. While all at the same time, out the other side of their mouth, asking for a bailout and getting one right there in Georgia got $186,000 Another one got 1.3 million. Another one got 896,000. Kid out of Florida got 462,000. I don't want to say their names because I don't want to give them any kind of publicity, but you can look them up. Female, 3 males voted against it, and then all at the same time was taken out the back door.
Mm-hmm. Wow. 30 seconds.
We have been accustomed to accept this level of hypocrisy and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about wasting time, I think about things such as that. As soon as I heard about it, I sent emails.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hold on. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, but all at the same time, I must say this. The person for which we are talking about is not the majority. They're the minority.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate
mm-hmm. Wow.
I'm saying are the minority. They are not the majority. The person that want to sit on the couch and do nothing and just play, they are not the majority. They are the minority.
Okay. Okay.
Because we're going to go to work. We're going to do what we got to do to make sure that our first law of man is intact.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Did you say my name right here?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm not really sure what the issue really is, or what problem we're having. There's one thing I can say, based on what Kurt said. This whole notion that these grown people as kids, y'all need to do something with that, because that's not helping anything. My son is a 23-year-old man. That's what it really is. He's my son. He's not a child at all. See, when we call people children, that's making an excuse. You have to understand, you got kids, like you say, you got a grown man in your house, but when he don't feel like being a grown, I bet you he's going out there getting some tail. I bet you he's doing everything else he wanted to do. When I became, me and my mother never had these issues because I had a desire to be on my own, to prove to my mother that I was a man. So I assured her I was leaving her house when I graduated from high school. And I found my way. But this need to always, my baby, that ain't no baby. That's a grown man. If he died, he'd go that straight to hell if he didn't make his own choice. So we have to understand that what we're sometimes creating is the problem. If you create that, that's what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a problem. Like my man Tucson said, you don't stay with me, you don't pay no bills, you don't touch my ass. My son can stay with me as long as he won't, but as long as he knows who's the king of the castle. Do you understand? That alone should drive a real man to want his own.
Exactly. I can agree with that. God bless the child. God bless the child who has his own. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
I guess nothing.
No, you ain't got scared on me now. Don't get scared on me now. Don't get scared on me. Willow, what's on your?
I'm scared.
You scared? Okay.
Right.
Yes.
I got to get off the phone, but guess what?
What's that?
You was just talking, Kurt.
Yes. No. That was Leonard just talking just now.
Leonard. Oh,
Yes.
okay, Leonard. That's 100%. I did all that. Like I told my son, I thought I would make it so hard to be like. I have a little refrigerator in my room, so all my food is in my room. And when I tell y'all he didn't have nothing to eat, because you're not gonna think that you're gonna lay on me, you're gonna do something. He didn't have a choice. I mean, I made it very hard for him. It's not easy living it. It's still hard. Even with his daughter, it's still hard. If it don't consist of your daughter, don't talk to me about nothing else. I don't care nothing about you going to work. I need you to sign your lease. I need you to show me that you're the man that God created you to be. I just gave birth to you. God created you to be a man. Men don't work, don't eat. Now you have a child to feed as well. I'll feed you. You're on your own, though. You're still on your own. He thought her coming would make a difference. But I got to go, y'all. I got an appointment. I love y'all.
Hey, love you as well,
God
sis.
bless you.
God bless you. God bless you. Willa, what's on your heart, Willa? Hold on.
Raheem, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so you was talking about the wasted time part, but are we talking about the enabling children now?
Either or.
Okay, so you know I had my baby at 15. So I wasn't a knowledgeable parent to really know how to raise my children. And I said that to say I learned as I aged. I learned as I grew with my children. And I understood the responsibility of being a parent once I had my children. So when my kids got older, I did teach them how to put money in the bank, how to work. And the only thing that I required my children to do was to make sure that they got a diploma and they graduated. Anything after that, they had to make a decision whether they wanted to go to college or whether they wanted to get a trade. But one thing about it was they would go live in my house after they had graduated for free. If they lived in my house, they was going to pay $200 a month. If they didn't pay $200 a month, they probably would have been living with their grandmother. But I thank God that I had children that respected me enough that they got out, they got jobs, they got out, and they were able to live on their own. Now, one thing I you know how people would always say, if I could change in my life, there's something that I would change. There's nothing, Raheem, that I would change. Because my son told me, Mama, you didn't teach me about credit. You didn't teach me about credit. He always, my younger son, he's always ready to throw at me what I didn't teach him. But it gave him the drive now that he have kids to teach his kids what I didn't teach him.
Yeah.
So if I had to change that, he wouldn't have had the drive the way he have it now in teaching his kids. You know what I'm saying? So I just thank God that I was able to not enable my children, because as a mother, we do that. That's when the father come in and say, boy, you're not just laying down in my house. I don't care if you do know I'm the man of the house. You get down and you're going to work. You're going to do something. That's the difference between the man and the woman in the house. We as women, we do sometimes enable our children, and especially our boys.
Absolutely.
So I just had that on my heart. Right?
Good deal. Somebody was about to say something. Who was that?
Preach, Miss Willa.
That was me. I got another son, smart as a whip. But he don't like being around people. I mean, the boy was writing a book at 11, but he don't like people.
Wow.
He stole that. He got it bad, real bad. He went to college online, speak 4 different languages, but he's struggling because he don't like people.
Wow.
I had one car, well, got 2, that one was just parked, and it was really, and he didn't have a car, and that was part of him making the next step, doing the next step, because his car, the motor went out. So I took my little Mercedes out, and I love it. Put it in the shop, make sure it run, and I brought it to him. I said, all you gotta do is put gas. There are some times you got to look at it at the individual case of a child. One, I'm gonna be hard on him because I know him. The other one, I'm not gonna be as hard on him because I know him. So you have to kind of watch how you do in the tough love thing, because sometimes we try to be tough loved to our kids and we push them off to the edge.
Absolutely. Wow.
I just wanted to say that.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Have you ever seen A young man, I ain't talking about a child, a young man that can't throw or can't punch.
Mm.
Most pitiful thing you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Because he might not be able to defend his family, his girlfriend, his wife, or his children. Guess what? Somebody didn't take the time out to teach that boy how to ball up his fist and how to throw a punch properly.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody probably wasted a lot of time babying and coddling that little boy. They probably had the nicest clothes and took all the best pictures. Probably just did it for the book.
Mm-hmm.
Look at y'all. Look at us, y'all. Look at our pictures. We got pictures everywhere. But did you teach them what was necessary to survive in this world when you ain't around and they run across somebody that want to pin them down and put their balls in their mouth?
Mm. Hey.
They got to defend themselves. They got to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a shame because you see some people just lay down and don't even raise up a fist and try to fight back. They get bullied and they just accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody didn't take the time to show them how to defend themselves or protect themselves. See, that's important, man. That's very important. The quality time that you spend raising a child to become the adult they need to be able to provide for themselves, protect themselves, and actually accomplish their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of their priorities. See, I'll go with all them P's again. But that's really what it boils down to, man. It still comes back to concern, home training. And guess what? Every now and then you find a coach that can see a little potential in this boy and then turn him into an awesome NFL Hall of Famer who probably didn't start playing football till he was in the 10th or 11th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have anybody even showed him anything about it. You know what I mean? So it really goes to show you sometimes that you still have to have outside influences to step in and help you accomplish your potential, reach your potential, accomplish certain goals.
Mm-hmm.
That quality time is key. You know, I don't believe in enabling people, but at the same time, when you do understand what is holding a person back, at least try to assist them.
Mm-hmm.
At least try to assist them. All laziness does come from somewhere. Maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe it's just a lack of attention. Maybe you just didn't get the proper tools implemented into you, or maybe you weren't exposed to the proper tools to be able to make it in this world as a young black man in America. That's with 3 Ks.
Mm-hmm.
See, we forget. Sometimes we speak like everything just hunky-dory, man. Man, we in America. It's great. You got all the opportunity in the world. Do what you want to do. If you don't do this, you're a black man that need to be prepared a little differently. You need to be prepared to have thick skin because somebody might say you ain't qualified for a job and you overqualified.
30 seconds. Mm-hmm.
So, these things, man, that life throws at us, if you don't have the right people in place to sort of give you that quality time, if you have people that brought you into this world that like to waste time, just doing what make them feel good, entertaining themselves, recreation, pleasing themselves, and not thinking about preparing their children for the future, we might have a lot of people that we're calling lazy, when really and truly they just unprepared and they just doing what they know how to do best.
Good deal.
Get in front of that video game and play, and get out of here. You're getting on my nerves.
That's their comfort level. Anybody have anything to say before we get out of here, man? It's time for us to get out of here. It's 10:05. Anybody got anything on their heart right now? Toya with a T. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, I got to go ahead and set this date because we're not going to do it. So I told y'all I want y'all to be on my show, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who is able or wants to be involved, please email me or Raheem. Either way it go. I think I would like to do up to 8, maybe 10 for a round table, black circle conversation, men conversation, so we can get some men on track. And the same thing for the ladies. The show is going to start October 9th. So the date for the men, I would like to do the men first, will probably be November 11th.
Okay. Send that to me. Send that date to me. Yeah. November
Okay. I'll send it to you. And then for the ladies, it'll probably be the week after that, which is the 18th. They're both on a Friday. The time is flexible, so let me know. Right now, my production time is between 2 and 4. But if y'all need an evening time, then y'all let me know. We can set that up. I'll send y'all, when y'all send me the information or who want to be involved, send me a time that will be best. I'll try to find a happy medium, and then I'll send y'all the invitation and the address.
Well, Toya, I can go ahead and tell you now, man. Count me in, man. It don't matter what time. Just let me know what time I need to be there.
All right, I got you. All right. And that's it. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all so much. And these are the conversations that I want to have on the panel with the guys about these real men issues, and the same thing from the ladies. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and y'all have a good day.
Hey, love you as well, sis. Rico, what is going on at 3 o'clock today? Toya just smiling, boy. She just happy. She happy. She happy. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
If you missed today's broadcast and would like to hear us see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal. It's been a great broadcast, man. We covered a lot, man. I didn't know we was gonna. I started off early this morning on how much time do we wait? How much time do we waste? And I thought we was gonna transition over to something else before, probably about 9:15, something like that. But it just kept going, man. So I stayed with it. But right now we got some business we got to take care of. Rico.
Yeah.
Is she here, man?
Oh man, I hope she's still on here. I ain't heard her for a second.
Oh no, I don't know if
I'm
she's still...
here. I'm here right here. Come on, let's go.
All right, look. Willa, are you ready?
I'm ready, Raheem. I'm ready to receive the word of God this morning. Let's go, Raheem.
Well, you know what, Willa? I'm gonna say it like this. Now, are you listening to me?
I'm listening.
Let's go.
Let's go to the throne of grace this morning with boldness this morning, Raheem. I'm downtown in the city of Chicago, and I see so many homeless people walking around, laying around with nothing. And I'm asking God to put in the hearts of the people that have something to help these people in the name of Jesus, Lord. Father, you said that you would provide for the birds. If you provide for the birds, Lord, Father, provide for your children, Lord. I'm asking you in the name of Jesus to touch each and every last one, Lord. Father, they need your help, Lord. They need you to help them, oh Lord, because they're suffering because of a mental illness, because of a drug addiction, because of alcohol, Lord. Father, whatever it is, you know what it is that they're suffering with. And I'm asking you, oh Lord, to help your children to become better servants, to become better disciples. Father, give us the wisdom and the understanding and the guidance to help your children, Lord. I'm asking you, oh Lord, in the name of Jesus, to allow the Holy Spirit to dwell in our hearts, to do the things that our flesh won't allow us to do. I thank you, Lord. I thank you, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for being a keeper, a comforter, oh Lord. I thank you, Lord, for giving us things that we need each and every day to provide for others, Lord. I thank you, Lord, in the name of Jesus, Lord. Touch each and every last one that's on this line. Keep DKM Radio 1.1 safe and successful. Touch Raheem. Keep leading him and his family. In Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Been a great broadcast. Again, I want to thank everybody, man. Thank you for joining us. It is now 10:10. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. I want to thank you for joining us. More than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:10. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, take some time, spend some time, be around somebody and help them on their journey They may very well need you. Love you. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you in the morning. God say the same. That's my exit song.